Welcome back, class. Please put your cell phones away, calculators back into your bag. It is only going to be pencils and notebooks. It is time for the final exam as we get a rematch between Truly Humble Under God and Tour de Force. So I guess a pseudo rematch, as it were, as a lot of the talent from the runner-up team from 203 has a date with Thug once again.
Oh my goodness. And this time, I mean, it's potential, right? You can take away a victory from a team that has gotten a victory before, and you can be the reigning victor. So for Tour de Force, this is a pretty big deal. And I think the addition of Australis coming along, not Australis, sorry, Starbound coming along is going to help them out very, very dearly. So that is super, super exciting. This game is two really big top dogs coming together and playing a really good game of Valorant.
I do kind of appreciate that slip of the tongue, though, because it is also a little bit Astralis. It's Astralis and it's Starbound, and the ways that this team is setting themselves up to play. You know, they have a very specific style. Speaking of styles, though, Truly Humble Under God, last time we saw them in Radiant Academy 203, they played a really interesting style, a hero pick that we don't see very often in this game, or an agent pick, rather, in Waylay, which I asked you if he's still considered trash tier. And you said, yeah, we don't like it.
I'm not a big fan of Waylay personally. I don't know. There was never much for me that I felt like Waylay could offer that Jet couldn't. Especially like, it's just in terms of the util, yes, it's different. And yes, it offers different variety. But I just feel like there's more forgiveness when it comes to Jet util and Rays and stuff like that. And there's just a lot more versatility going there on what you can do with the team. But I think Waylay, if you can play them right and if you have like these set plans to execute off, they can be phenomenal. It just has to have like a lot of pre-preparation.
Yeah, like that kind of tracks with like the general consensus, because I remember, you know, I asked Emily the same question, like, is Waylay like good? Like what's the deal? And she basically said the same thing. It's like, yeah, like Waylay doesn't do anything that Jet can't. That seems to be the narrative that everyone's got. That's the leaflet that went out, but Dark Lord Vanitas never got the memo, and more often than not likes to bring that Waylay into the fold and plays a really interesting style where, you know, we're using the utility to get in, get intel, and get out. Very similar to what you might see out of like a Yoru or a Jet as well. It's not the same, like it's not the same. It's not one for one, but you can take really interesting angles with it, and it's just like you have to see it to believe it, because it just doesn't look like the Valorant that you're used to.
No, I agree. It's something new, right? Like we talk about Corrode being banned quite often too. Like that's new, and it just takes a lot of time for adjustment and a lot of preparation, like I said. But I am excited to see what is going to happen. We do have the last map scoreboards that we can show you guys to kind of give you a reminder as to what was going on in previous games. But for those of you who didn't know, Tour de Force did win their last series, and Truly Humble God did as well. So now we're coming up to this grand finals match, but 13-7 that they were able to end off, and they're ending off on a very, very big high. Starbound was absolutely shredding down in this first game of Lotus.
Yeah, that was Lotus, which was the first one, and then we went to Sunset after that. And again, Starbound 27-10 on the next map there. What's interesting though is once we get to, I mean, this might be a little bit of a spoiler before we actually get to the map picks and bans, but we might be taking another detour or detour de force around Lotus, as it were. So we might actually see Starbound again up to their usual tricks. It's gonna be interesting, but once we have those maps figured out, we might get a better idea of how these two styles that we've presented for these two teams will clash. Because I really like what I saw from Truly Humble Under God last time around with the way that they played the Waylay. Very fast-paced, going in and getting that intel and either confirming the kill or getting out, as like, you know, being able to have that nuclear option either way. Versus the more slow, calculated, set Starbound up for success kind of, you know, strategy. Are these two going to interact? Are they going to be on opposite sides of the map over and over again? What's it actually going to be? I want to keep a close eye on Starbound versus Dark Lord Vanitas, and whether they are on the same side or opposite sides of that map, I think it's going to be very important to know what map it will be.
Oh yeah, I agree as well. And what map it will be definitely is something that I'm looking forward to, because I know that, like we talked about with the Waylay kind of coming in, where that can start to give itself some leeway there. What map in particular can we see it happen? But the two bans, what a surprise, Corrode being the first one. And now we're going into Bind and Lotus, the last deciding map being Haven, which I do feel like with these two teams, there is a lot of potential to go over to that decider. But I'm super excited. I see a couple names here for both these teams that honestly I feel like will absolutely thrive on a map like Bind. Battison being one of them. They've been well, she has been just absolutely slaying the house down on Truly Humble Undergod, and this is definitely a name that I feel like can work against Starbound, especially with Starbound's Reign of Terror today. So, you know, if they're having a good game, they're on it, and that's definitely a one-to-one matchup I want to see.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. You know, I want to see this one go to Haven because every time I've casted a Radiant Academy, the Haven matches have always been the most insane.
Yeah.
I have seen like 11-3 runbacks. You know, I have seen like quintuple overtimes. I've seen some absolutely insane stuff, and it happens only when I'm around and Haven is played. You know, if we check both of those marks, as long as we don't get a 2-0 here, this should be absolute cinema. But maybe I'll hype it up too much and just caster curse the whole dang show, and we're actually not going to get that. Maybe it will be a 2-0. Maybe Tour de Force just have the sauce this time around, or maybe, like you said, Battison is just going to make her presence felt. I highlighted Dark Lord Vanitas and the waylay that they like to play. But Battison has been another standout on this roster, like you said, and that tracks with what we saw out of her last time around as well. If you weren't seeing Dark Lord Vanitas in the kill feed, getting big things happening with that waylay, you were seeing Battison just fragging out with the 3Ks, 4Ks, 5Ks, everything you could possibly ask for out of your deadlock player. Whatever she's on, I imagine she's going to be a threat.
Oh, absolutely. I think Battison's going to be one of those players that I mean, that you look at a team and are like, okay, yeah, they're someone to look out for. So most definitely, they're also the captain as well. So that being of one of the sorts of being the captain, leading the team, and also just being a really, really reliable player is a flex, to be honest. And I feel like Truly Humble Under God, the entirety of their team is so incredibly well seasoned, as goes for Tour de Force. So now we might just be able to see that game go underway, guys. We're gonna go into it. It's Truly Humble Under God versus Tour de Force, and the grand finals, right? The grand finals game that really is the decider of all things.
One question that I have for you, and I'm also asking so that I'm also like looking so I can find the answer to it, so I can potentially set you up for a logical trap. It's one of my favorite things to do is a little bit of gaslighting. My question is, do you think Battison at any point in time is going to try and mirror the chamber that Starbound likes to play? We're likely not going to see it on Bind. There is that waylay, like I highlighted there, though. That's almost definitely going to be coming out. But do you think, like, let's say Tour de Force takes this map. Do you think Battison tries to do what Rivals Jeff One Tricks did in the last match and try to mirror that chamber?
Oh man, I don't think so. I think with the chamber, that was like a particular circumstance where it worked out on Sunset, because I think chamber is such a strong Sunset pick. But at the same time, I feel like they're so set in their ways with this waylay that I really don't see anything changing, especially with the fact that, you know, you have a chamber and a waylay working in cohesion together, but then you're kind of lacking all other sorts. It won't vary out well. I think Truly Humble Under God has like this sort of vibe that they're planning on going for, and they're just gonna do it. Like they have full confidence in the compositions they picked. They're not switching anything up too heavily here. So yeah, for me, it's gonna be like a very, very strong mainstay for them.
And every other time that I've seen Truly Humble Under God play Bind in this tournament, you know, I'm going through the bracket looking at every other time it's popped up for them. This is one for one the composition that they like to play. So far, you know, either they aren't aware of what Tour de Force is planning on playing. It's literally in the name, guys. You got to pay attention. It doesn't get more clear than that. Or they just don't care. They know that they can just play their style and play it better and best whatever Tour de Force wants to bring to the table, which is, again, going to be Starbound on the chamber. What's interesting, though, is that we're seeing a complete different look from Tour de Force from what we've seen so far, as everything around that chamber is concerned. We're not seeing the ISO to try and set Starbound up. We're not seeing, you know, we're seeing the deadlock to also kind of help as well for Astralis to be that, like, you know, that secondary figure in the way that this composition works out, but not as much of the same things.
Yeah, and right underway, it's the grand finals match here. Tour de Force versus Truly Humble Under God, and that first fight's gonna happen towards A.
Well, Starbound, yeah, okay. Well, maybe it's a new round, but, you know, same old story. Early frag, early headshot. They find exactly what they're looking for. Darkler Vanitas going around with a nice double peek there alongside May. Gonna have to trade May's life for one onto Kurosu, so a raise for a raise, an eye for an eye. Healing coming out, so actually that Waylay gonna be nice and topped up for the next engagement. Starbound not fully committing to the kill there. Rotating back alongside Astralis, who finds the headshot there onto CIA agent. Harper taking down Starbound, and another for Astralis as well. The dynamic duo taken down as Harper finds a third and make it a fourth. What a clutch. What an opening salvo for Truly Humble Under God. The pistol round goes their way, and that's a statement early on.
Taking full control over Showers and just pushing themselves towards A site. So already such a good match coming through. And Harper applying 4-0. Like, that is insane. The first pistol round that you take over and you are absolutely dominating. So maybe Harper's the one that, you know, is going to take this step up as that Sky. But utility, tons of it to utilize on Truly Humble Under God here on the attack.
We're seeing Truly Humble Under God going for that little eco buy there. Not full eco, but playing for the middle here. Starbound taken down early on. That's really going to put a wrench in Tour de Force's equation there. Darkler Vanitas going in with shotgun shot there onto Astralis. Avery trades out for 2, but Madison, there we go, finally making her presence felt in the kill feed. Is going to get taken down by Kurosu, who's got 2 to their name right now, but now has to win this duel against CIA agent. And I don't know about you, but I feel like a CIA agent should know your location at all times. There should be a tracker on Kurosu right now. There should be 6 webcams trained onto them. But right now, no such intel, all right? It's completely dry out in the field. I got no joy. I got no intel. So I guess we're just going to head on back and try and get control of that spike. Or maybe we play a little bit of ring around the rosy here.
Yeah, but they might just get caught out. Kurosu has such a good lurk coming through, but just barely missing each other. Is going to have to fight this one off 1v1, and having a spike down is honestly so good in this position. You could just play for spike, you could play for time.
Yeah, but Kurosu with the shift walking and CIA agent going full volume there. Kurosu knows where this clove is, and their location is not known, but there we go. Finally, the CIA agent is able to get the intel, figure out where Kurosu was coming from, shut it down, and send Truly Humble Under God up 2-0.
The exact way they wanted things to go, and already such a strong start. Their Starbound hasn't necessarily started their reign of terror just yet, but we are seeing some sort of sniper start to take its way. The Outlaw now making itself very, very apparent. But the A site, still something that Truly Humble Under God are really pushing themselves for.
You know what? They're also not getting too ahead of themselves in terms of the buy. They're willing to let this one, let their wealth slowly accumulate over time to get themselves an insurmountable advantage. But Avery, like you said in round 1, how Truly Humble Under God take full control over Showers. Well, Avery wants to try and shut that down as best they can, and so far it's looking pretty good for Tour de Force. Astralis is going to take down 2. Harper going to be the 3rd. Tried creeping on through the Showers, but this time Tour de Force were the ones who had it on lockdown.
1-2. Now, they've put themselves on the board, and we're kind of back to the grassroots of Valorant, going to a buy round on both sides. A potential bonus, though, actually. Like a weird mixed round from Tour de Force to keep to this. But at the same time, I mean, doesn't really matter. Starbound proving themselves very valuable, but they've conditioned Tour de Force to start looking towards the A site. But at this point, they're moving towards B.
Tour de Force, yeah, holding a little bit over towards A with only 1 member holding on over towards B site. But like you said, that's where Truly Humble Under God are looking to strike. Quick little orb grab there from May. Terror just trying to see what we can get. Very slow approach from Truly Humble Under God. Avery once again trying to keep the Showers on lockdown. We've actually seen a full spike rotation back over towards B, and again, it's going to be the Showers where everyone wants to coalesce right here. Gonna be a lot of blood in those drains if any of these shots land. Avery's got the angle, and Truly Humble Under God not quite locked down there. They still have the opportunity to rotate back around towards mid if they should so choose, and we see 2 members trying to make that rotation happen. And suddenly it's Tour de Force that are being pinched right now. They don't yet realize, but as May and Dark Lord Vanitas try to walk up here, they're going to be the ones in trouble. There we go. Early shot onto Avery. Starbound able to trade that one out. It looks real good for Tour de Force. They've lost 2 members early on there. Got Harper, the last one standing, again, in the showers with the spike, and now 3 versus 1. And sorry, Harper, but again, your grave is going to be about 3 feet from where it was last round. We're tied up now 2-2.
Pushing so hard for that victory. But I like that. Tour de Force playing towards the choke points of the A site and actually not allowing anyone to exit off of that execution. So truly humble Undergod, unfortunately humbled at this point. And they're going to have to fight even harder. Harper, you know, applying themselves very heavily. 6-3 already starting off in this first half, but 2 ultimates for Tour de Force. So that is going to cause a lot of havoc moving into this defensive round, utilizing Australis' util to, you know, execute off 1v1s or even just having Avery push that orbital strike for zoning.
Outlaw for Starbound. We know how lethal they can be with any ranged weapon, and 3 potential targets. Good flash coming out, though. And there's that Waylay utility. That's the way truly humble Undergod like to try and play this one. Dark Lord Vanitas, they go in, they try and force out a little bit of aggression, make Tour de Force flinch, and then just zip right back out. Starbound still has a good angle, but Tour de Force have lost terror in the process. So with the man advantage of truly humble Undergod, should be able to get a little bit more map control out of this. Start to have their pick of the litter, as it were. Looks like they're still hanging around towards B site, but now rotating the spike back over towards A. I think they haven't been able to get enough ground to be able to deny Starbound the angles that they really want, so they're going to try and try their luck over on the other side.
Trapped. And just waiting for everyone to come along. Orbital Strike does push this back, and they're just stalling for time. 37 seconds left, and they can hold this, but now comes, Showstopper.
Well, show's over. Avery with 1 nice shot there. It's traded out, though, so 1 for 1. Kurosu gonna take down Battison, though. Looking pretty good for Tour de Force, though, but Harper with a shot there. There's a showstopper. Kurosu taking down Harper. And now we got CIA agent versus a not particularly healthy Kurosu. And the agency is going to win this round yet again. Truly Humble God will take the lead yet again, 2-3. Real quick, can anyone on prod confirm for me if CIA agent is Rich Violent Thug? Is that because like this looks like a new member of their roster, but yeah. I feel like I've seen this playstyle before. Okay, yeah, that's Rich Violent Thug for any returning viewers there. Yeah, this looks familiar.
Well, that's nice to know. the history of a Rich Violent Thug on a Truly Humble Undergod. So I am loving it. Maybe, something else that we can see here coming through for this round, especially with like this 3-2 coming along. I know Kurosi's wanting to play very, very heavily towards the B site, maybe cut this choke off, but Waylay getting ready for the util.
My territory, my
Oh, yeah. Speaking of util, a lot of it is coming directly down Terror's way. She's able to weather the storm, take down May. But elsewhere, Dark Lord Vanitas again using that Waylay utility. Like we've seen time and time again. Truly Humble Under God with a man advantage here. And now it's only going to be Avery clinging to dear life. But Truly Humble Under God will take this one, 2-4. They just roll right in on B site, let the fireworks fly, and at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, it's them standing tall.
Yeah, and the Waylay definitely helped in that execution, which I'm seeing the way they're playing it. It's nice. They work with the team. They're making sure like they have that extra source of backup and income so that they can push themselves onto the site very aggressively and quickly. So it does give them an early start off to that post-plant positioning, which is super nice. So Dark Lord Vanitas giving us a very, very good taste of what they are capable of on that Waylay.
No escape.
Yeah, and again, for those of you who saw Radiant Academy 203, we've seen this before. Like, we know this is how Truly Humble Under God like to play. We know it's Dark Lord Vanitas that likes to play this, and it's like, it really... Okay, well, it doesn't really work out that time, because Avery, again, holding down those showers, and now Truly Humble Under God down 2-5. And, again, you know, postured for a B-site take, but you know Terror and Starbound are going to be holding this one. There's the Tour de Force, for the third now for Starbound in this round. And potentially a fourth. Not going to be able to find the shot there. Is CIA agent going to take a break from destabilizing economies in foreign nations and instead just going to destabilize this point B defense. But it looks like they will be able to re-elect a new president in Terror and should be able to hold strong here. Oh,
Yeah, no to them. I mean, the power is coming back here for CIA Agent. However, they're going to have to continue this, and Avery watching with a util. That's interesting, but I like that. Waiting towards the TP, knowing exactly what's going on towards B. So communication definitely not lacking on the side of Tour de Force.
I can't tell, like, what's the worst occupation? Being a rich, violent thug or being a CIA agent? Are those not the same thing? Or am I just very distrustful of the government? Is that just me?
They could be, I feel like they have the same responsibilities when you think about it. A rich, violent thug is... Yeah, I guess I do have a mistrust in the
Show
government as well.
yourself.
CIA agent might be a little bit more palatable, I guess, you know, just to the average person. Also, I watch a lot of American Dad, so,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
you know, CIA agent, not a bad occupation if we're talking the Stan Smith variety. Whale utility getting into showers again, forces the shot out from Starbound there, and now they know where they're lurking. Gonna rotate back over and try and catch Battison, who again likes to go for this rotation. Might be looking at the wrong corner there. A couple shots ringing out, and now Starbound knows where she's lurking. And there we go. There's the shot onto Battison. Shuts down that rotation. Again, it's a play that Truly Humble God tried to make work last time, but with Starbound having the angle, it's just not going to work twice. In fact, it didn't even work the first time for essentially the same reason. Starbound found one on the rotation there. Gonna find 3 this time around. Astralis and Terra getting in on the action, and Tour de Force will even the score.
Yeah, 4-4. Exactly what you want to see, especially since they were down before. Truly Humble Undergod are now going to have to, you know, try to figure out a way to pick this back up. Seems like they're attacking side struggling just a bit with how to execute. It was unfortunate too because we did see early pick off of Dark Lord Vanitas. So, you know, just keeping into account exactly how they can make sure like this double duelist comp they have is alive and well. So maybe pushing towards this B side, we will see that 2v2 coming down towards left hand side.
The up in tow now. We know how lethal Starbound can be. Again, with any ranged weapon there. Catches May's foot, but blows it clean off, and that's going to be another early kill for Starbound.
Seek them out.
Even with that loss, though, Truly Humble God are willing to try and take this one. Still going to push up, and they're going to force both Terror and Starbound back. They have to try and respect this with all this Sky utility coming out. We do have the angle, though. Trying to get that shot onto Rich Violent Thug, but it's not coming through. Astralis, though, with a wall bang onto Harper. The opening salvo, and now Truly Humble God are truly pinned down under Tour de Force. 5 versus 2. Potentially going to be crushed under the heels of Tour de Force if one more shot rings out. Seeing the spike being fake planted there.
One enemy remaining.
The agent able to take down Terror.
Wow. A very, very drastic ending. Australis just running around with the 3Ks left and right. And, you know, we did say Australis is a pretty pivotal factor to the team as well. Kind of giving some names out there that really make this work. So I think, especially this game, it seems like they've grown a bit more comfortable from the loss. The warm-up already taken place, and so forth. So yeah, 2 ultimates ready. Looking very, very good in the hands of Tour de Force. But I like this. CIA actually has their ult ready as well. So you're going to be able to possibly see Not Dead Yet come out, and CIA taking advantage of that, potentially just by being a little more aggressive than usual and giving them those first-hand engagements, playing for those refrags.
I don't know if I would say more aggressive than usual, because Truly Humble God are known for their aggression. I've also seen that particular grenade spot come out, that net from Battison in the past. Good smoke there, catches Terror directly. Dark Lord Vanitas now has all the angles that they could possibly want going in with a shotty, and there we go.
Wow.
Shot onto Kurosu in the recall. Yeah, you want to talk about aggressive playstyles. Truly Humble God are known for the aggressive playstyles, utilizing that waylay, showing exactly how it's done. Now Terror forced off into an angle that she does not want to be in. Gets traded out again. The shotty from Dark Lord Vanitas ringing out. Not dead yet, CIA agent. Gonna be able to get a nice new lease on life there. Astralis looking to take it away, but there's the shot. And now we actually get the full heal up there. Starbound gonna be able to shut it down. Madison now in a 2v1 situation. Nice wall bang onto Avery, but the defuse comes out from Starbound, and Battison doesn't know what hit her.
Dude, a huge finish too. That's phenomenal. I think Starbound definitely handling that to the best of the situation and never getting off the spike. I feel like at that point that would have been bad, but they kept their confidence. I mean, we know Starbound has a lot of it. And kind of just continue the stride. So we are going to be a bit above Truly Humble Undergod in regards to score. But I mean, all about that round, it was flawless. You can see some adaptations being made in regards to Tour de Force. I mean, it does seem like 5 players towards A. They are starting to read very, very deeply into the repetitions.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of a variation now right now, as again, Starbound is no longer lurking over on B side, again, holding mid yet again, and gonna take a shot there onto May. It's traded out for Avery, so the showers should now be open for Truly Humble Under God, and they're able to make their presence felt as Harper and CIA Agent both gonna get a kill. There's a second for CIA Agent, and now Terror, all alone towards B side, has to try and make the rotate around for a 3v1 retake. And CIA Agent, with a little bit of a crack between the shield there and the wall, is gonna find their third. The Tour de Force go down. Well, they don't go down. They're still up 6-5, but Truly Humble Under God nearly evening the score.
It's going to be a very, very close game with 2 of these teams. I mean, we have, like, everyone here is working so absolutely hard to walk away, I mean, just with a grand finals title. Truly Humble Under God trying to keep their title. So, you know, it's one of those things where one and the other have like very different intentions of what they want to do. But at the same time, they're doing their best with it. There goes that flash though.
Terror sitting in the smoke there, tries to find the shot, but a little bit too aggressive there. It's traded out, and B site now wide open. Tour de Force were all stacked over on A site. They're not ready for what Truly Humble Under God are coming to the dance floor with. But I think they were expecting Starbound to be lurking there as well, so a lot of utility spent just to try and get into a position already. Tour de Force might be able to make something happen off the back of that, as they're now coming in all from CT side.
There.
Now Truly Humble Under God know where every single member of Tour de Force is likely to be. We're gonna see the breach hole come out. Showstopper from Kurosu taking down Madison. And another shot with the Tour de Force from Starbound. Tries to find that shot there. Great disengage coming out. And CIA Agent with a third and a fourth for Truly Humble Under God. And we've got a tie game at the half.
Dude, a great way to end the half too. CIA Agent really stepping it up for the team. And it shouldn't have gone that way. Realistically, I mean, a 2v1, CIA Agent, you know, worst case scenario for them, they would have gotten down. And it would have been a potential round takeaway for Tour de Force. So it's really nice to see we're stuck back at this half, you know, evening out the playing field. And now back to this pistol round, which it has so much importance, right? Giving yourself a 7-6 and then moving forward with an 8-6 and even more space from there. So definitely a very, very huge importance. I also want to see maybe some orb or potential to like taking the orbs as much as possible to try to just give yourself more space to get that ultimate.
I think for Tour de Force, it might be difficult to actually get some of those orbs, though, because Truly Humble Under God want to try and play this fast-paced, you know, attack and likely the defense as well. You even see Dark Lord Vanitas camping the orb, like, knows exactly, like, that's what's going to happen. Like, they know they're going to go for the play there. Kurosu, though, taking down Dark Lord Vanitas. Good shots coming out, and even while stunned, is going to find a second onto Battison as well. And this B site is going to be easy as cake for Tour de Force, as they're able to get in the front door completely unscathed. Truly Humble Under God rotating back in from the Fender spawn. Back in through these little hallways, and the dog coming out. Shots now ringing out to shut that hound down. Put old Yeller out of her misery, and still try and push up through these hallways. I mean, Tour de Force already have this one locked out. Yeah, Starbound's got the angle, and again, just funnel yourselves in. Single file, one by one. The recall forced out, though, but Kurosu gonna be able to find their third. Well, okay, Mage Ray's out for 3. Hello, hold on, that wasn't supposed to happen. 8 HP, maybe we can get a little bit more here. It's gonna be a tall order for May to try and make something happen, but Starbound's low HP as well. Might be a little bit gun shy, but Terror with a stray shot there is gonna find the shot that she needed. Finally put May out of her misery, and Tour de Force will take the pistol round and take the lead.
Yeah, and finally able to thrive here. Starbound definitely loving the attacking half. A bit more than the defense. They're very good at getting aggressive and knowing exactly when to peek certain angles. So I feel like that was just another example of why it seems to work out so well for Tour de Force. But a round one and economy back in their pockets. And yeah, I mean, that pretty much is that. Truly Humble Under God just going to have to try to work with what they have here. And they really don't have much.
Something I want to highlight, though, is Battison. Like, she's
Yes.
like just not having a really good game right now. Like, 3-12 is not a great KD right now at this stage of the game. And, you know, looking at the contemporary on the other side, Astralis and how much she's been able to do, it looks so good if you just look at this deadlock mirror as, like, if Dark Lord Vanitas and Starbound are the star players, well, the second in command on either side has been going Tour de Force's way. Astralis trying to find those shots, live up to the legacy that she has set for herself. Should be able to get the spike, but will we be able to get it down? As it's going to be that dynamic duo of Astralis and Starbound trying to make something happen. Outlaw looking for the angles. Astralis trying to use some of that utility to set up for the shot. I think they know where Badison is likely to be lurking, but you're gonna have to check two corners back to back. Badison already gonna flinch. It's slow to get hit. 29 HP left for her. Astralis getting the better of that exchange, but you didn't see the shotty coming in at point blank range. May says, all right, I've had enough of this stalemate. I'm putting this whole thing to bed right now.
I got this.
Yeah, I'm surprised they had so much room over towards A. I mean, not that they knew that, but it's one of those situations where B had so much pressure being applied and they knew, you know, there was so much happening. And I mean, that rotation could have came in quickly, so I was kind of half expecting them to TP over towards A and just take away that site and play for post plant. But, you know, lessons learned here from Tour de Force. And they're just going to keep on going. What can you do? You lost the last round, your economy's down, and Truly Humble Under God are up. So they're going to have to try to counter this as much as possible.
Looks like we're going to see CIA agent with the Outlaw there, looking for the shot onto Astralis. No dice, no joy. And with the smokes now, this mid push for Tour de Force should be good enough to get the spike down onto A site. May on the rotation though, gonna take down Astralis. See Starbound as well, but didn't see Avery with a shot there. Terror with one as well. Truly Humble Under God are already down on the retake here. Harper, nice little peek there, takes down Starbound. Caught them asleep at the wheel. Evens up the score. But you need so much more than just an even score. You need room to try and go for the defuse here. Harper with a point blank shot onto Kurosu. And with CIA agent finally able to find the shot there onto Terror, this looks academic at this point for Thug.
Yeah, you can't really take away a fight like that one and then get yourself back onto Spike. But I do think they got it, yeah, in just the nick of time. They're scared. I don't know, this is like a guessing game for me at this point. But yeah, okay, 0.63 seconds left coming through for Truly Humble Under God, and they were able to take that away. But I liked it. Their defense is getting stronger and stronger each and every time. Very, very back and forth, like, you know, we had said again. But pistol round, they were saving. Tour de Force, they didn't have much to work with this round. I mean, last round. So this round, it gives them some more room to really get these executions through and to be able to just fight hand in hand with this team of Truly Humble Under God.
And now that we've switched sides, you know, even though it's still 4-2, a KD, I highlighted Badison earlier, and I want to see her make a comeback. I do expect, as we switch sides, for that gap between the K and the D there to narrow a little bit. Have her start to come alive. Dark Lord Vanitas again, holding the angles there. Well, okay, never mind. I guess Badison will not be coming alive if Starbound has anything to say about it. Dark Lord Vanitas, though, goes on in, takes down Avery with a nice headshot. Wall bang as well. They're still lurking. And be able to get out alive. Again, the utility that the Waylay does provide you. You know, it's something that only Truly Humble Under God have figured out, and they're still one of the only teams able to leverage it. And it seems to work nicely.
They could push at any moment. Terror still does have a blind to use, but wide swing's coming through, and it's just one tap after one tap for the defense. With Kurosu trying to fight it back, but the spike's still in hand.
And it's like, it's not even just one tapped, it's like one taps with wall bangs. That's disgusting stuff coming out from Dark Lord Vanitas. It's alright, I don't need aggression. You give me space, I'll just hit you with the left clicks. It's that easy.
That, and now we're kind of just pushing Tour de Force back into a save round. 3 rounds in a row, by the way. 10 assists for CIA agent, and 21 and 11 is insane. They've been putting in a lot of work coming into this game, and I always love a Clove pick. I'm a huge fan of the Clove pick, but definitely just letting the whole team thrive just off this composition alone.
Tour de Force, we do know that they have it in them to turn things back around and get the momentum back in their favor, even when a more aggressive team is the one in the driver's seat. It's gonna have to open with one frag, and with only sheriffs, they're gonna have to be perfect. But CIA agent gonna take down 2 early on, May with a 3rd, and yeah, I asked for perfection, and you gave me the exact opposite. Unfortunately, Tour de Force going to get stuffed there. Flawless, but on a technicality, Madison dies a little bit after the bell, but still, we'll call it flawless.
Yeah, they're being so confrontational on these fights, which is nice. Truly Humbled Undergod taking it 10-7 just based off the fact they're not afraid to peek these angles. They know they're going to win the 1v1s. And that sort of confidence is exactly what had led Starbound, right, to those victories down in the last map. So, Starbound 2 getting that 30-10. So, you know, it really is just a game of confidence and how well you're able to apply yourself. But, of course, adaptations needed to be made. I think Tour de Force are looking for that right now with their shower take.
They have nearly all their ultimates, by the way. They're only shy on one, so they could use a lot of utility to try and make up for the lack in economy right here. Starbound looking for the shot there, and there we go. Some of that utility gonna ring out now. They, like you said, want to go for this shower take. Spike is coming up down mid, so we might actually be able to pull off a pinch. Avery takes down CIA Agent, but not dead yet. Talk about ult economy. One ult you had to keep an eye out. Finally gonna put CIA Agent down for good. Showstopper going to come out, but it's not gonna find anything. May punishing Kurosu for their hubris there, but as the trades ring out, it's gonna be Tour de Force taking the lead in man advantage here. Terror looking to try and find that shot onto Madison, but she's not peeking. We'll settle for a point-blank trade onto Harper there. Madison takes down Astralis. We're looking for the Annihilation, trying to get the Cocoon. This is Madison's last-ditch effort, but up. Yeah, no last-ditch effort. Instead, it's going to be the ditch that Terra buries you in, as Tour de Force will stop that momentum, just like I said.
Yeah, momentum stops. That's all you need. Now, especially with Starbound taking in the op, being able to utilize that for this round, and this team just looking to set each other up for success. But I did like the fact that they did split themselves up towards showers and tried to take out the fight that way, because they knew Truly Humble Undergod always had at least 1 to 2 people there. And that is a free pick that they can utilize. So a 3v2, that is going to happen in just a couple seconds.
Looks like this time we're actually not seeing that Astralis duo, Astralis and Starbound duo going up towards mid. Instead, they're actually going to go over towards B. Little trade happens there, though. Astralis falling means that now Starbound is going to rotate back over and join the rest of their team. But meanwhile, Kurosu has taken down Madison. And maybe you don't even need Starbound there if you've already managed to strike this much blood onto Truly Humble Undergod. And the last 3 remaining members are spread so thin that this A-site push should be completely free. The only hanging Shad right now is Harper, who has been a force to be reckoned with, but you can't talk about anyone else in the lobby without Starbound making their presence felt. Harper, though, trades it back for 2, showing why she's top flagging on this side. Gonna be put to rest. Fight goes down, and it's a 2v1. Kurosu and Avery versus May.
Truly Humble Undergod just have to work their way in with May looking for a pick and not able to get it.
Gun here.
But Tour de Force stronger and stronger every single round, and instead of, you know, just letting it happen, they're gonna take it back. So we're over to that 9-10. And that was great. The execution onto site, they used their util to kind of push off and honestly, just like make these players of Truly Humble Undergod play exactly how they wanted to, right? Moving up towards showers, like we said, the 2v3, and being able to understand we have more numbers and we'll be able to pick these fights a little more flawlessly. So they are prepared for just about any repetition that Truly Humble Undergod are going to show. And it seems like showers fight once again for a free pick.
Also want to talk about economy really quick, because when we were in this situation, even though the economy for Truly Humble Undergod isn't exactly in shambles, but when the shoe was on the other foot, Tour de Force was able to make up the difference with the ult economy. Truly Humble Undergod don't have that luxury, so, you know, they're going to have to make this one stick, because it doesn't look like they're going to have a whole lot for a plan B if this round doesn't go their way, and Tour de Force are able to even up the score. They've left the spike back in between the 2A approaches, so they might have to try and pick their poison, as it were. Starbound also on a bit of a lurk through mid, looking for the right place to strike. Renee gonna come out from Kurosu. Nice little satchel charge in as well. All the suppression onto CIA Agent, but it's not enough. Kurosu gonna be punished for that one. Terror gonna finally shut down CIA Agent, but you've already lost 2. And now with Starbound joining the fight, you need to make your presence felt. But Harper, no one was checking this corner. We thought it was already clear, but she's able to find another one. Starbound taking down May, but it's now a 3v1. We've seen Starbound work miracles before, but with the op, it might be doable once more.
30 seconds left.
It always just rounds back to showers. And Harper, learning lessons from last time, is very, very prepared with Starbound, insane with the op. And insane with the angles. They know now. Dark Lord Vanitas could honestly just get this wide swing through the moment they hear them. But playing for time. They have the spike. There's
10
not much they
seconds
need
left.
to worry about there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a win for Truly Humble Under God, but maybe Starbound can get away with a save here. Nope, Madison is actually on the lurk there, finds the headshot, and not going to be able to save the op. I mean, luckily, economy-wise, Tour de Force do have a little bit of cushion, so they should be able to get another good buy off the back of that, but it's not ideal. You definitely wanted to tie up the score because now Truly Humble Under God are 1 point shy of match point, and that's where the pressure is really going to be on, and that's where you really need to make sure that you have your economy in check.
Yeah, just one round for Truly Humble Under God to take it to that match point. And I think that showstopper might give a lot of potential to what they can do. They could clear up A site very, very flawlessly, but more so of a default, actually, to try to pick off Truly Humble Under God. They've been quite impatient, I won't lie, especially with their showers plays.
No showers this time. Instead, we're just going to be walking right up mid. May is lurking over in the corner there, and Kurosu might be able to take down their contemporary if they're checking this corner. There we go. And, yep, indeed, they do check the corner. They do take down May. Good early frag coming out. Truly Humble Under God going to go ahead and rotate the soldiers all back over towards A site, but Astralis has taken Harper down. That is a big, heavy hitter for Thug. There's already been dispatched. But there's still 2 more on the field you're going to have to worry about. And one of them is CIA agent who has made her presence felt and already found 3. It's going to get traded out for Terror, but that is a huge crack in the armor created out of thin air for Truly Humble Under God. And Tour de Force have no choice but to commit at this point. They've got the spike down. Starbound with the Tour de Force. Gonna get bested by the sniper on the other side. Dark Lord Vanitas gonna find the shot there. Battison gonna be going for the defuse. Terror shouldn't be able to stop it here, and Dark Lord Vanitas gonna make sure that she has got nothing to say as Thug will go up to match point, and we're even gonna spread the defuse well just to make sure that everyone's got a little bit of spending money for our big day.
Yeah, a step closer to having the ultimate, but that was amazing. I mean, CIA agent really stepping it up there. A 3K to a 4K is, I mean, just insane to take away. So, making sure that every single fight they're going to take, they're facing that head on 100%, committing to it as well. And applying some util over towards B, which I do like the sight of this here for Truly Humble Under God. On the deadlock and the waylay, slowly trying to work together here.
The deadlock and the waylay are going to be waiting as Tour de Force seemingly making their approach over. The waylay with the operator is not exactly the look I would have expected from Truly Humble Under God, but hey, you know, if it works, stick with it, and we definitely saw it work last time. And we got 3 members of TDF up here in hookah. Battison just spraying and praying. Their prayers are answered. He's able to take down Astralis, but God giveth and God taketh away. But God will give CIA agent another lease on life. Not dead yet. Terror will take it away, though. 3-3, the score evened up. Tour de Force, though, losing another one as Dark Lord Vanitas with a shorty. And now it is going to be, once again, just Starbound. Good shot with the op is a good rate opening salvo, though. Dark Lord Vanitas, though, point blank, is going to say, no, we're not falling for this one. We know what you can do at range with an operator. We know what you can do with a sniper. You are going to face me point blank with a Vandal, and you will like it.
They played phenomenal, honestly. For the side of Truly Humble Under God, you could see why they are the returning victors, and they did win that first map. So that is something that I'm looking forward to seeing that second map go underway. I mean, the pressure is there now, right? You have to win the next map, or else you're not going to walk away with the victory. And honestly, CB, having that type of pressure, I feel like it makes players, I don't know, more strategic and play to a certain extent, but I don't think there's much that needs to be changed. I think they played absolutely phenomenal. We didn't get to see exactly what Starbound was made out of in previous games, but it was nice to see a bit of a refreshing take on Astralis and the way they could step up for the team.
Yeah, like having, you know, that second in command, like I say, that can step up and be the top fragger when you really need them to is imperative. And we talked about how good of a player Battison was. She was quiet this time, and that we highlighted that a couple times as a potential weakness for Truly Humble Under God. But you know, maybe it wasn't so much that she was being quiet as everyone else was just talking really loudly over her. As you know, we're women. We understand that that's just kind of how things go sometimes.
Oh no, I understand. I feel like everyone and that's the vibe, honestly. It's so lighthearted, everyone understands, and there's nothing really there's it's just good vibes all around. I mean, even though it's competitive at the same time, it's very uplifting. So really, really good game coming through. I was very, very impressed with CIA Agent today. I mean, the 3 first bloods coming through as the Clo, 29 and 18 on the scoreline there.
I mean, and the scoreboard is so like spread out all over the place. You know, it's like you see Starbound and Avery up there towards the top, still being the threats that we know them to be, but CIA Agent being the one to take over. You know, I talk a whole lot about how this playstyle kind of revolves around the Waylay and Dark Lord Vanitas being that oddball pick. And I think there were a lot of situations where that did kind of shut Starbound down. And even despite all of that, Starbound is still able to put up a respectable 21 and 16 with 6 first bloods, still, you know, as lethal as ever. And also having Astralis, you know, at many points in time being that second in command, stepping up, showing what she's capable of, but still kind of trending down towards the lower half of the scoreboard as time goes on. It kind of just felt like once she wasn't there to be the closer anymore, and once Starbound wasn't able to get the angles that they really wanted to play, Tour de Force just didn't really have a plan C.
Yes, and that's the thing. They definitely some occasions looking like deer in headlights sort of situation and looking for that backup plan and what they can do next. A lot of it was just like the first-hand executions. I mean, we did get to see a lot of really key pivotal players get taken out so early on, especially with the fight that we saw so many times down showers. Just fighting for control, fighting for the first pick, fighting for everything. I mean, it was very aggressive on both sides, on the defense, on the attack. Definitely kind of similar play styles, I will say too.
Yeah, well, similar but also different in very key ways, but similar enough in execution that I am curious to see how this series goes as we go on to our next couple of maps here. I'm still kind of hoping that we get to take this to Haven, because with how evenly matched and how close that map felt throughout, I feel like Haven could be a lot of fun, especially if my curse keeps up. We'll get there when we get there, though, because we have another map between here and there, and we will have that map for you on the other side of a quick break. Class, don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back once again, class, to what could be the final map in our final exam for Radiant Academy 204, as Truly Humble Under God have bested Tour de Force, made them bleed for the first time in this tournament, and have yet to drop a drop of their own blood thus far. And maybe, just maybe, they might be forced to as we go back to a familiar map for our second outing here.
Familiar map, yes, Lotus. And we've seen Lotus, you know, for actually kind of a warm-up that we did get to see for Tour de Force. So oh my gosh, if I'm saying that wrong, sorry about that. But Tour de Force, I feel like I'm saying it correctly. But yeah, we did get to see them play that last map of Lotus down in that first series. They ran away with the victory there. So we're going to see it again. And I feel like having that extra step of being able to play that map prior and now coming back to it again is honestly a really, really good thing to have down in your belt. So losing the last game doesn't matter too much. Now they're able to feel that sort of comfort.
I think Lotus is going to be an interesting map, not just because it's one that we've seen before and not one that we've seen Tour de Force be successful on before earlier on in the day, but also one that I think is conducive to both of these teams' playstyles. There's a lot of places where you can utilize the Waylay to go for these like super aggressive corners. Like we saw both teams trying to play heavily for the showers on Bind. I think that is because of that exact interaction there. More often than not, you'd have Starbound posted up over on the other side of the map trying to control the long sight lines. I'd expect to see essentially the same thing. You know, the chamber locked in, and then you just have that chamber holding C mount where you have the longer sight line. But over towards A site, I think that Waylay could be a real threat. So, like, what do? You know, where is it going to work out for which side or the other? Who knows? There's only one way that we can find out.
Absolutely, and the one way we'll find out is through Agent Select on the map of Lotus. And I'm excited for this one. What are we gonna run? Is the Waylay coming back? It probably is. I think Waylay, definitely making a reappearance. But the way they played with the Waylay was quite fascinating, and I actually really did like it. I liked the aggression that we were seeing come through. I enjoyed the fact that it wasn't just like a solo Waylay duelist going onto site and doing whatever. It was a lot of preparation to move on to site. It was a lot of setup potential for these fights, and also just having Clove play absolutely phenomenal CIA agent. Being crazy at what they do.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it doesn't really feel like you're playing the Waylay like a duelist. You're trying to be more, I guess, of an initiator where you're going in to try and get that intel, and then you can decide if you want to commit to it or you can just recall yourself back out. And that's kind of, you know, why it works. Because it's not just like, you know, sending in like something for a recon, you know, like some fade util or trying to go in with like a jet. If you go in with a jet, you're just in, you know? You're in and you're committed to the fight. But you can go in with the Waylay, make your opponent flinch, and then say, psych, I'm out.
And that's the benefit of it. It's like a troll pick, like when Yoru used to be used to kind of almost wreak havoc. And it kind of feels like that's maybe what Waylay is slowly integrating into, of making that, enforcing that rotation, or even then like being able to give that secondhand option of going back with the team after getting that first engagement. So Starbound played absolutely phenomenal on the chamber the last time we did get to see the map of Lotus, and with the comfort being there, with the fact that Starbound knows that this is a map that they can perform, you know, maybe they can get that confidence back and be able to bring them to that third map for Tour de Force. But that's something we will have to see. I'm not quite sure. I'm really excited though. I'm liking the composition that we're seeing with the ISO then again coming back into the map of Lotus here through May.
And I by the way, you know, circling way back to the beginning of what you were saying with the Yoru as well, and the way that the Waylay is played, I do know that if Dark Lord Vanitas, okay, I was gonna say if they don't lock in the Waylay, which they almost definitely will, Yoru is kind of their backup pick, so they can still play the style. However, you know, not even however, but like regardless of the agent select, they will still try and play that similar style. It's just this off-meta pick that I think might have Tour de Force a little bit on their heels, sort of, because they're experienced with it. You know, this is the grand finals rematch from 203, so, you know, especially the likes of Kurosu, Terror, and Avery, they know what to expect, they know how to tango with it, but they've set themselves up, you know, they've put all their eggs in this chamber basket. Is it really going to be able to parry this Waylay play, as it were?
Yeah, with the flanks too, I know Starbound likes to commit a bit heavily into trying to take those first kills, And flanks as well. We did get to see a lot of flanks come through on their defensive side, but now we do have the Vice, and Vice's wall is going to be a very, very big factor as to why these flanks may not work sometimes.
Well, no surprises here as we have a look at the map. We see Tour de Force on the defense right out the gate, and of course, even on the pistol round, you're going to have Starbound on that chamber over towards Seaside Mound. Truly Humble Under God are going to be playing up towards mid, ready to commit mostly over towards B site with that Waylay utility. You can see Dark Lord of Venus already just zip, zoop, and they're in. Starbound, though, going to find the headshot there, and Astralis is good for one as well. Kurosu gets traded out for Tour de Force. It's Truly Humble Under God, down a man, but they should be able to get the spike down. Not a great way for them to start, but they have definitely played these games before. They don't fear this particular man advantage, but you gotta fear Starbound and you gotta fear Astralis. This duo can wreak havoc on every last remaining member of your team if you are not careful. And Truly Humble Under God will have to concede the first pistol round.
Tour de Force really good at taking in that first-hand pistol round, which, you know, walking away with a victory that is very much needed for the first couple seconds of this game, of this series. So definitely the way things want to go. Sheriff's underway, so it does seem like Truly Humble Under God are somewhat investing into this round and thinking they can run away with something. I do like close engagements down towards B. Lots of potential there.
Like we're running it back though.
Don't miss me too much.
Waylay going for same thing there, and again recalls out, realizes all right, that's too hot to commit to, so we're not going to be taking the spike over towards B. The question is now, how do we rotate? We're going to go through the revolving door, but it's not Starbound this time lurking, it's Avery. Gonna be able to find three before they're finally dispatched by Battison, but that is a hell of a way to make your presence felt. And Psych, Starbound was actually there all along, just waiting around the corner, hiding in the closet. Astralis showing up a little bit late to the party, but you know what? We saved the red solo cup for you as well, and Tour de Force will go up 2-0.
Yeah, couldn't do too much with what they were given. But a full buy coming out. They're not wasting any single penny. I mean, they're not wanting to waste a single penny on this round. So it seems like they're like just fully going into it. I mean, potential to take the orb as well. I'm seeing Starbound though place their TP towards C. So you are kind of expecting a very heavy push here.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what it's going to be. Expecting, and yeah. It's exactly what comes out. Avery's there as well to help kind of augment this defense here, but I mean, Truly Humble Under God are just bum rushing C site. They are going in 5 deep. May, though, didn't check the corners. Avery, again, making their presence felt. Starbound is good for one as well, but it's a 2 for 2, and the spike is still there, so they will be able to get it down onto C site as the cavalry from Tour de Force comes back in. Battison gonna stuff Terror. And the retake for Tour de Force just got that much harder. As Battison with a third in the round. She was quiet on Bind, but she is screaming at the top of her lungs. She is roaring like a lioness, and Kurosu is going to be the fourth. And Truly Humble Under God are going to turn the momentum in their favor now.
Yeah, Battison taking a step up we've been wanting to see from this player. Again, a phenomenal player with tons and tons of skill.
I need a gun.
And it seems like it's working out, honestly, for the best. Truly Humble Under God able to take some of that economy back into their hands, and now they're going to be able to have more than just a Bulldog and a Bucky and of the sort. But yeah, one more until we also do get to see that Vi's ultimate. So it really is just all about setting themselves up for success, and also it seems like getting those picks because they are pretty scattered.
Avery and Astralis have swapped places. I think, again, Tour de Force, we're expecting a very fast C-site push, but it's actually going to be a much more tempered, measured approach. Not something that Dark Lord Venus likes attached to their name, so going to go in with that Waylay util, and again, make Tour de Force flinch. But Kurosu is going to give you 2 for flinching. Another headshot coming out. It's going to be the third for Kurosu. We're able to trade out 2, though. Make it a third as well, actually. Truly Humble Under God are going to be able to parry this one, and in fact, completely clean up A-site for their own. So now it's going to be that duo again, Astralis and Starbound, for the retake here.
Wow, thinking on their toes. Astralis closing off the A side and actually forcing them to pick a fight down B. But they're not going to fully execute on that. I mean, the A side is still there. They did manage to break the wall. Barrier mesh.
They were a little bit too hesitant to get the spike down as well. Like, they did kind of have an opening there, but Now that Starbound has the angle and actually has boots on the ground there as well,
One enemy remaining.
knows exactly
30
where
seconds
Harper is going to be
left.
walking up. That's the
Spike
easiest, the
down A.
freest headshot of their life. And CIA Agent, now with only 29 HP. Oh, Starbound tried to go for a weapon swap there. Got a little bit hot there, and Astralis wasn't there to help set that one up. Fortunately, no damage coming out, and Astralis is going to be able to clean that one up this time around with a headshot. And Tour de Force maybe starting to run away with this one, 3-1. They can keep this momentum going and maybe get themselves set up very nicely.
Yeah, they're holding their ground, and with the just aggressiveness that truly humble Undergod really enjoy playing with, it's really difficult to kind of pass that when you have Starbound peeking out super early on C. Australis following along with the refrags, and now we're going to be able to see like a two-player push up towards A. So especially now with the damage util and the paranoia that might come through, this is dangerous.
Oh, okay, the showstopper got stopped. Kurosu not going to be able to find anything off of that. Headshot coming out from May, who's also going to pop that ultimate. The gulag there, and Avery is not making it out of that one alive. But meanwhile, back in the real world, Terror has lived up to her name yet again, as she so often does. Has found 3 headshots, and now May wondering, where have all my team gone? Where's your team gone, as a matter of fact? 4 for both May and Terror, but it's going to be Terror the last one standing. What a round from both of these players, holy.
And that was great. I like the isolation we saw from May, you know, pulling through with the ultimate and just picking off the 1v1 because they knew that was the best that it was going to get to try to limit these numbers with the sheriffs on board. But the weapons are there. The economy wasn't great, guys. We're getting back into it now. Even playing field again. Of course, 4-1 isn't really the scoreline truly humble Undergod are wanting right now. But all it takes is just a little bit more time to try to adjust. So right now, they have to figure out how to do that.
Looks like we're gonna see that A site push coming out again. Kurosu, the only adjustment I'm seeing is Kurosu adjusting May's haircut. Close shave coming out. Starbound with another shot there as well onto Battison, and Terror taking down CIA Agent, forcing out that Clove ultimate. But I mean, it just doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't look good for truly humble Undergod. Dark Lord Vanitas gonna be the last one standing on that waylay, and we've already burned up so much of that utility to try and get the recon. And now we've got nothing. We are completely flying blind at this point.
I mean, they know where Spike is. I like this. Okay, just traveling around to get the orbs first and foremost. So now they'll wrap their way around to try to clear every single angle, but Starbound is on it, and they just finish it up for a 5-1.
That was like frame perfect too. You see how quickly Dark Lord Vanitas came around that corner, like half expecting the shot to come out, and at the one frame, Starbound flicks it. Like that's inhuman.
Starbound has been very reactive lately. Like, their reaction time is insane. I'm not surprised that they're absolutely smashing it on the op. I want to know what their warm-up session is in regards to how they can be this good and get to a point where even a pixel is an alert in their brain. But right now comes through with another push towards C, and Starbound is peaking very aggressively.
Vulnerable and suppressed, and you know, shot does ring out, but it's onto that ISO shield, and it's not going to be enough to confirm the kill there. And now suddenly C-Site is vulnerable. We've seen this before, but can't truly humble Undergod get the execution onto this one. They're able to take down Terror. They've lost one on the Ingress there. CIA Agent going to take down Kurosu, and now it's looking good. Isolation coming out again, and May wins the duel for the second time, taking down Avery, and now it is only going to be Astralis, and she will be the third on the menu for May, who has had an absolute buffet of Tour de Force here, and finally truly humble Undergod can get momentum back in their favor, 5-2.
That's all they needed. Just one round. And Battison picking up the op as well. So I'm curious what they're going to do with this, and if they're going to play, maybe towards A would be a good call, or taking out C. But I like that. I like the fact that we did get to see May use that shield to protect the team from the op shot from Starbound. So, you know, again, adapting to the play and making sure that they have some sort of response to it. It was absolutely brilliant.
Well, Starbound now has the Tour de Force. Forced to recall early there. Vulnerable and suppressed. And definitely feeling a little hot on their collar right now, so not going to stick around, and that's again going to be C Mound given up for free for Truly Humble Under God. Phase 1 is done, but Phase 2 is now getting in the front door, and Starbound, again, has this auxiliary angle now with that tour de force, just poking and waiting for Truly Humble Under God to show face.
Oh
Teleport's
no.
ready.
And missing the shot. That's brutal. Not even any damage too.
It looked like it hit, but it couldn't have been another ISO shield, could it?
It didn't seem like there was a shield on, which
Yeah, like I didn't see it. I was like, hello? Like, that looked like it was just like straight through the stomach. But I mean, homie's got an iron belly, I guess. You know, she's not going down today. We still haven't been able to get in the front door. Truly Humble Under God, just knocking, staring into the ring cam, waiting for something. There we go. There's the first shot. Madison tries to kick the door down, but loses her life in the process. But it's 2 for 2, though, as Avery and Terror have been dispatched. CIA Agent and Harper making their presence felt here. Over health now in favor. Kurosu taking down CIA Agent, cutting that over health down to 0, and the regular health down to the negative. Starbound has the angle, though, as the spike has been planted. There is the shot. That one connected for sure. Dark Lord Vanitas knows it. Harper with the 3rd in the round, though, and a 4th as well. The clutch for Harper. A new addition to this Thug roster, and showing, again, why she was picked up.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I feel like everyone on this team, you know, there isn't just one particular person that I can say, you know, it really relies up to them. At the last game, it was CIA Agent that was absolutely destroying, and now we're able to see May take that extra step up, and Battison now really playing with the incentive of being that top frag. So a lot of these players enjoying the map of Lotus, seeing the potential that it can give them too with the composition they're running. But of course, it is going to be the op that wants to play the game here for Starbound. How will they respond?
No recall coming out from a Starbound this time. Castle Doctrine, we're going to hold our ground this time with that chamber. Let's talk about Battison. Going on a bit of a rotation here. Room mid. Trying to use these thorns to force back, create a little bit of space, and is going to be able to get it. Good stuff coming out, though. But the op now from Starbound, able to catch May. That's revenge for all the shots that rang out that didn't find their mark before. CIA Agent taking down Avery. It looks like this might be the force coming out ahead at this one as Starbound finds their 2nd, and the Cocoon going to suck up Dark Lord Vanitas. Another shot from CIA Agent. I like the aim duels coming out from CIA Agent and Starbound, but at the end of the day, it was a 4v1, and even the most Kovacs brain person of all time, I don't think is going to be able to win that one.
No, but making some changes. They were pushing for C quite a lot here, which did give Starbound the incentive that maybe they could pick off some sort of positioning here, some sort of pick in general, and it seems like that's just going to be the repeating factor. I mean, maybe it could be like a plan to condition these players in, but it doesn't necessarily seem like so.
Starbound with the op again, holding C-Mount. Avery able to deny the dog from giving away Starbound's location, but again, the ISO shield. This seems to be a hard counter for Starbound's playstyle. So again, the recall forced out, and we're forced to hold this auxiliary angle, and now all of this space now conceded to Truly Humble Under God. Starbound is gonna find the shot there onto May, but you're not gonna have Avery for a 2nd lease on life, so this time, the Fade Util is gonna get the successful blind, and now there are even less soldiers to try and set Starbound up for success. So now you got no choice but to be pixel perfect with the shots from here on out. Meanwhile, the spike ain't even on C anymore. It was bait all along. The spike was on B site. CIA Agent gonna take down Kurosu, and now Starbound, they know exactly where they are. The shots will ring out. Dark Lord Vanitas will be felled. 2v1, and Starbound has clutched these up before, but can they do it again?
No peeking.
Just smoking it off. That's all they can do at the moment. Okay, information given away. They know where Harper's located. They have to try to get this in for the defense.
This is so tough, though, because of the verticality where CIA Agent is playing right now. I think Starbound knows they can't try and go for this one. They know the box is there. They know that's where the Clove is going to be lurking. So instead, going for the save. CIA Agent going on a bit of a rotation here to try and prevent the save from coming out, but it looks like Starbound has created enough distance. How do we even find that shot? That's disgusting. Even in defeat, Starbound with star-making performances, 3 kills in that round, but not enough to keep Tour de Force in that round. They're still up 6-4, so it's not all lost just yet. But the momentum is starting to swing. The pendulum is back on Thug's side.
6-4 from, you know, a really, really big lead that we saw. Like you said, the pendulum swinging, and they are getting that momentum, and I completely agree. We are able to see them, actually, weird enough, repeatedly going towards C and having that hard counter is working out for them. That's not something that's quite typical, because they're constantly making these micro adjustments, but trying not to be too repetitive with it. Definitely making sure that the ISO can play for something, but Starbound now taking a step back and isn't actually even going to try anything for it.
Thug just, again, stuck on C Mount, and they can't go in. They're gonna rotate through the door back over towards B site. And again, Dark Lord is using this waylay utility, forced to recall though. They're not gonna be able to get the spike on B site and get the full plant there. I like that ISO shield being pushed out as well. Again, it's just bait. Now we've actually baited them twice. It's actually gonna be A site. Terror was waiting for that one. Takes down Badison, but will get traded out. Now A site has been blown wide open, and May, with a shot into Kurosu, is going to make sure there is no one there to stop them. Truly Humble Under God going all in on that one. Avery has an angle, but with the isolation, now it is all up to May. Shot's going to ring out. Avery actually wins the duel this time around. May, for the first time, not able to convert on that Gulag, and Truly Humble Under God now will be down 2-3. The shot from Starbound is going to force out the Clove ultimate, but the second shot is as good as the first. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Starbound with a 4th, and Tour de Force will get the pendulum back on their side.
That was just a Starbound round. Absolutely phenomenal. They had it from start to finish, and they knew. They were like, all right, you know, well, there's no shield for you to use at this point, so haha, GG, and I'll take this one, thanks. So C site, they found a good counter, but over towards A and just the retake that Tour de Force can offer, they did not. But it is the last round and last potential time for Truly Humble Under God to not end this off on an 8-4. So, you know, one of the rounds that definitely have utmost importance to not give Tour de Force the opportunity to take things 10-4 down in that second half.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, an 8-4 scoreline would favor, or sorry, I think even an 8-4 scoreline for Truly Humble Under God isn't terrible because of the tempo that they're setting and the pressure that they're putting on Starbound. When we flip sides to the attacker side, I don't know that, you know, Starbound is going to be able to have the backup plan that they really want to. Dark Lord Vanitas going in with a waylay util again, and an ISO shield as well. This is all in on A site. Brute force, but Kurosu is able to parry it with 2 of their own. Taking down Dark Lord Vanitas, finally going to be dispatched by Harper, but 2 for 2 means that this A site is not guaranteed. But one thing is guaranteed in life, and that is Starbound with the op, finding its mark. Avery with 1, Terror with another, and that 8-4 score line does come to fruition.
Switching sides.
And the side switch. Finally, the time for Tour de Force to actually get a little more aggressive with their raise in the chamber kind of composition that they have to offer. But this is exciting. We did see actually them get a bit stronger last time they had switched sides on a map like Lotus. And that would be, you would think that would be counterintuitive because of the fact that we do see a lot of op play coming through from Starbound. But it's just something in the aggressiveness and being able to take that first-hand pick that just really makes it work. You know, really working hard though for Truly Humble Under God, I will say, for the fact that they know that this is the last map they need to run away with. The second map coming through, the 8-4 scoreline, it's not too far off, so maybe an opportunity here starting off in the pistol round.
7-5 would have been much better though for a map that feels, at least, you know, with these compositions as defender-sided as it is. Yeah, Ajigo gonna get that first blood traded out as Astralis is going to take her down. 1 for 1, and Tour de Force will have the spike down on B site. Dark Lord Vanitas, though, lurking in the corners, taking down Starbound. Another good shot there, but it's not going to find what it needs to. As Avery, on a sliver of HP, will get it topped back up. May going to take down Astralis there. Madison with another shot there, and Thug look like they might be able to get this one. Only one last kill on the menu right now, and it's Avery. Takes down May, and could potentially find the shot onto Madison. Avery with a 3rd. They're able to clutch that one up.
A big finish for the pistol round, and no crumbs left behind for Truly Humble Undergod. That was an incredibly important pistol round for them to just take it back, to just give themselves a couple rounds down their belts. But no, they're not very forgiving when it comes to tour de force, and they are not going to give anything away. But this is good. I do like on the defense, we're kind of rounding up about towards C for Truly Humble Undergod, and B, looking for a weapon. Any sort of weapon, I think, would be the play here, just because they're so broke right now.
A site is completely left unguarded. Is Thug, I think Tour de Force, we're expecting Thug to go all in on C site. Tour de Force going to be able to go on in through the door there. Force a little bit more positioning as Thug are still trying to rotate back around. Going to be coming in from defender spawn here. Sheriffs are ringing out. This town is a ghost town. No one is around to hear them. Spike goes down. Starbound has the angle as well with the Outlaw. May trying to sneak up behind. Avery with the shots there into Dark Lord Vanitas. Caught them asleep at the wheel there. Avery is very much so making a case for top frag, and there's another one for them. Tries to find that shot there onto Harper. Not gonna come to fruition, but goes up aggressively. Going to make it happen. Madison gonna be the last to fall, and a flawless round from Tour de Force with surgical precision. They pick apart at Truly Humble Undergod and send us up 10-4. I think if you're Thug, you're looking at this and you're going, uh-oh.
I am thinking, uh-oh. I think this is a very, very hard position to be in, and this particular round is honestly the turning point. Like, will Truly Humble Undergod take this one so that they can keep going, or is it just going to be over off of this one alone, right? No economy to play off for the next round, and it really is up to just everyone on this team to do what they must, but they're so passive here on the A site, and they're giving away so much space. But this is an interesting approach, and I think I like it.
Yeah, well, May able to trade out Kurosu. Starbound again, though, getting first blood. As is their wants. Tour de Force now stalling out a little bit, but they like playing at this slower tempo. They can be more methodical when they have things slowed down, and that is a problem for Truly Humble Undergod. They're able to get another good trade, but again, it's Starbound in the kill feed, taking down Dark Lord Vanitas. So every time you send a body, one is going to drop. Terror with a shot there onto May is going to give Tour de Force the advantage, and the other two remaining members of Thug are not in position to try and go for this retake just yet, so the spike will go down, and it's going to be a 2 versus 3 on the retake here. CIA agent going to drop the smoke to try and make the approach a little bit less treacherous. Madison on the alternate angle with this Vice. She's got to be perfect there. Shot ringing out from Starbound through the wall there. Recall going to be used as well. Terror lurking. Catches Madison asleep at the wheel there, and Avery with a shot at the CIA agent. And we've gone from uh-oh to yikes.
It's a hard game, to be honest. Like, again, like they had, like we said before, Tour de Force had previous times where they could play it. They played in the last series. They were able to get warmed up on a map like Lotus. They knew what worked, they knew what didn't, and they could fix what didn't as well. So especially now rounding about against Truly Humble Undergod, where they just have to really adjust this time around. It does seem like a slight force is coming through though off May. You're taking in the Vandal, hoping for the best. I just think with this composition, we need more aggressiveness. We have the Waylay who can push themselves back, but I'm not seeing a lot coming through from that.
Well, I am seeing a lot coming through onto C-Mount, as Tour de Force will take it for free, essentially, but they're going to have to give up 3 members and trade out for an equal 3. Spike down on C-Mount, and now Starbound with the Outlaw. Not going to have quite as many members on the side of their team to try and set up some of these plays. And Madison has the angle right now and knows where Terror and Starbound, but oh, maybe a ill-advised moment there to go through the pillar there. And does have the angle and does have the height, but Starbound got entrenched a little too deep, and she never saw that shot coming. That's the 3rd in the round for Starbound. Terror is going to get the plant. And Harper has made magic happen before, is going to have to do it again. Peeks in the right direction, but the smoke means she's too afraid to commit to taking the shot out to Starbound. And now as the smoke drops, the angle is given up. She's forced to back off. Starbound has the angle, and Harper trying to go for a little bit of fake rotate here. Maybe a wall bang, but again, giving the game away. It's just ring around the rosy with both teams going back and forth, rotating around the other way. Finally, Terror will put it to bed. Harper will be felled, and match point now for Tour de Force. And Lotus looks to belong entirely to them. We're only going to get one more opportunity for Truly Humble Under God to have anything to say about this, but this looks as one-sided as it gets.
Yeah, too much space being given away. Australis is doing a really good job at just holding it down as the deadlock as well. And then they don't use so much util because there's no one pushing for them to off the start. So they have a lot to utilize down in that post-plant positioning. And truly Humble Undergod don't. They're trying to push it back, but then they waste their util, and now they have to fight that post-plant with like a 5-person full util hold going down. So I'm really hoping we get to see maybe just a tad bit more aggressiveness down towards C right now.
Face your fear!
Oh, all in on this one. Astralis early kill there onto Battison. Dark Lord Vanitas going to fall as well, and Starbound take a shot again every time one of their shots lands. Taking down CIA Agent, and that's your closer. That is the one that you needed. Annihilation now coming out as Astralis has May locked in the cocoon there. And again, Harper going to be the last one to fall. Tour de Force. Again, they just own Lotus. It doesn't look like Truly Humble Under God were ever able to set the tempo that they needed to in order to try and get the better of this one. I talk about how over towards A site, they have the opportunity to, utilize the Waylay utility. And we saw a glimmer of that, but I don't know if they tried that enough. And especially once things flipped over onto the defense, they just kind of never really committed to much of anything, to be completely honest with you. Like, they felt kind of lost.
Yeah. That was the thing. I mean, one of the reasons why Waylay is such a weird pick under certain circumstances, it's you have to be aggressive. There's really no forgiveness if you're stepping back, and there's no util that actually lets you actively be passive. It's a very aggressive agent. So, when you're on the defense, which I felt like I did see a lot of lack of space taking from this side, and they kind of just gave it up and let them do their thing, which wasn't good, because now we're seeing, Australis be able to utilize a lot of their util down on the holds, and Starbound kind of being that duelist with Kurosu for those pushes, and it was just wreaking havoc on a map like Lotus. But we can definitely see which one is Tour de Force's best map for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think we have the scoreboard as well, if we can take a look at that. And no surprise to see who is up at the top of it. Hey, what do you know? It's Starbound, 25-6. Another disgusting performance just about every single time. Starbound aims down sights. There's going to be someone about to be dead on the other end of it. Terror and Avery, though, also with really respectable performances here, 19-8 and 15-11 respectively. All green up at the top, and CIA Agent doing the best that she could, but 12-18 is not going to be enough for a carry performance. It looks pretty bad for the Thug side.
Yeah, it's brutal. It was a brutal game, but you live and you learn, and then you move to the next. CIA Agent not having their best game this game as well, definitely from in comparison to the 29-18 that we got to see, which is crazy. I felt like maybe there was also a slight lack of comfort on a map like Lotus, so it was cool, it was interesting. And Truly Humble Under God, the victors of the last time, now coming in and actually getting a little taste of their own medicine coming through from Tour de Force.
So I want to ask you a question, and it's a question that I think that Truly Humble Under God are also going to be asking themselves here, is we've seen the Waylay work out perfectly well. We've seen it played up to its peak, and we've also seen it played to its trough. Do you ditch it now at this point when we go out into Haven, or do you double down and go all in on it? Because I still think there are some points where it could be useful on Haven, but that's the same thing that I literally just said about Lotus, and it didn't work out. So what do you do?
I think in regards to util, I'm just seeing a lot of activity that it feels like they're using it. They're using it well, and I liked what I got to see on Bind. I think there were a lot of circumstances where I felt like the Waylay was really pivotal, but at the same time, it was never to the point where I felt like you couldn't do better with another agent that gave you a little more of a passivity. Because again, this is a very, very aggressive duelist, and with Jet, they offer the extra incentive of being a slight controller with the smokes, right? And with Reyna, just being able to offer those blinds for the team. So it's more of a team play and it feels more selfish of a duelist to where you have to frag, you have to be aggressive, you have to take those fights, and you have to rely on other people. So I don't know. I feel like you should. It's the point of maybe just getting rid of it. But then at the same time, we did see Dark Lord Vanita absolutely kill on Bind. So I think it was just the unfortunate fact that Starbound was really, really difficult to play against there playing as that chamber.
Well, I think it's not a great sign if you are selling your soul to the Dark Lord to try and get a win. That being Dark Lord Vanitas, and the only person who can make Dark Lord Vanitas swap off of that Waylay is themselves. So we'll have the answer to that question and then some as we have our third map ready to go on the other side of this break. And it's going to be a fun one because we've got this question. We've got these two very evenly matched teams, even if Lotus didn't look like it. And we're going to Haven, which is always a joy when two teams are evenly matched. I can't wait, but unfortunately I have to. So we will see you on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, class. We will be right back. Are there birds outside of your...
Bird?
Welcome back once again, class. No more bathroom breaks from here on out because we are in the home stretch. I told you this one was going to be a good one. We're getting the rematch from 203. We've got two very evenly matched teams, and we're going the distance. It's map 3, and we're going to Haven. Gompers, I gotta ask, are you as excited about this one as I am?
I'm so excited. I'm ready to see who the victors are going to be. Both teams have been playing phenomenally up until now, and this is the final point to where we get to see, is it going to be Tour de Force or is it going to be Thug? I don't know.
I don't either, but I do know one thing's for sure is that Haven is always a treat to watch, and especially when you have two teams like this with history that know each other very well and that also have their very definitive styles. And we've seen two sides of the same coin for both teams. We've seen that, you know, if Starbound gets shut down on the chamber, then there's not really a whole lot else that Tour de Force can do. You're kind of banking on Astralis to just frag out. And if your strategy is simply have one of your players frag out, that's not really the best strategy. That's, you know, we're building our house on very flimsy foundations there. On the other side, though, we've seen the Waylay come and go in terms of its effectiveness, and now we're seeing the Yoru coming up in Waylay's place. Dark Lord Vanitas does have the answer to the question that we have, and that is Waylay no more.
Yeah. I think this is for the best. I think the Yoru is, especially, I mean, I don't know if the Waylay would have been the play for Haven, to be honest, but I am really enjoying the the pick of the Yoru, going in with the ISO, you know, just going back to the grassroots and such. So, and I really did like the clue from CIA Agent. I think they played absolutely phenomenal. And again, I mean, this just being a very, very comfortable pick for them. So I have no issues with this. I think it's quite interesting that we're almost, you know, coming about to a mirror composition. The only difference being, of course, we do have a chamber instead of the Cypher.
Chamber and the Cypher, but also we have the Clove on one side and the Omen on the other. Omen, historically, I believe, has been, you know, just one of the top tier characters in this game, pretty much always, and especially now is. But when you have someone who can play the Clove as well as CIA Agent, they're definitely, you know, definitely not going to be a pick that you can just ignore. You know, this isn't going to be. I don't think this is going to be a compositional win. I think this is very much going to be a knockdown, drag-out slugfest.
It's not going to be easy. I especially, like, I don't know, for Haven
You paused
too.
after it's not. I thought you were just like, no, it's not.
No, it's not going to be easy. I think I'm just, like, debating how is this going to go? Because, I mean, I wasn't expecting such a quick game going through that second map. So it's just interesting. Like, certain maps really do work for certain people, and people feel their strengths there. Starbound kind of stepping it up the second map and feeling a lot better. And now we might just be able to see, is this, you know, another potential for Starbound? Or are we going to see something from Astralis again? Or is it going to be someone new? So I mean, going underway, the final game of Grand Finals.
It's like, truly humble under God, just gonna kind of default here, play a little bit slow, wait for Tour de Force to make the first move, and then just react based off of that. And it looks like the opening that they're gonna go for is through Garage. Good smoke off onto the window there from CIA Agent. And another just to make sure that the CT spawn is also covered. Starbound, though, early frag onto Battison, and then two more coming out for Tour de Force. They're able to trade out one, but truly humble under God already down to just two men. And those two men are holding onto the spike, sure, but they are not on the bomb site there. CIA Agent can't quite find the shots, will be able to take down Terror, get a little bit of overhealth off of it, but only 10 regular health, and Kurosu is going to snack on all 10 of those hit points and still have calories to spare.
Not bad.
First round down in the books after a victory as well. So really, this game's all about mentality, especially in the Grand Finals. Keeping the energy up, keeping the vibes up, and Tour de Force, they most definitely have it just based off that alone. But Terra doing a really good job at actually allowing the team to feel that sort of comfort, gather that information. Already 2 assists on the board for them. So definitely working out the way that they had planned it out to be. And a slight scatter, though, which is quite interesting on the, you know, attacking half of Truly Humble Under God.
Someone in chat earlier, by the way, said Kurosu couldn't top frag if that was their job. Well, who's laughing now? All right, checkmate, Atheist. Kurosu is up at the top. Sure, with only 2 kills, but could very much so extend that if they should so please. Starbound, though, is going to be tough competition. Holding down mid with the sniper scope trained firmly on the angle. Dark Lord Vanitas never saw that one coming. Madison going to get taken down as well. Starbound finally traded out, so B-site a little bit more open, but there's still more members of Tour de Force ready to cover down for that loss.
Double tap getting so ready to take it, which is gorgeous. And it works out for Astralis, and they're just looking for an entry in, but it's not going to happen. Tour de Force really shutting it down off the choke point and making 2-0 happen. So they're pretty relaxed. They also have a couple Vandals maybe that they can utilize now. Actually, sorry, Guardians and such.
See about like a lot of these matches that we're seeing, you know, in just about every round, realistically, Starbound only needs to find 1 kill, and suddenly every plan that Thug have just goes into disarray.
Teleport's ready.
Starbound actually getting very ready for the moment those barriers drop, and that they must. 2 players that are looking to wide swing this angle, and another 2 going down towards Garage.
Gonna go ahead and give up the height, play a little bit further back. See Harper with the bow there, trying to get a little bit of recon. Starbound saw that one coming, is gonna shut that one down, but nevertheless, we know that that's where they are. And Harper's gonna be able to find the headshot there. Avery trades it back out for 2, but Dark Lord Vanitas is gonna put Avery down. Terror has to try and even the score there. It's gonna be Astralis coming in with the kill on Dark Lord Vanitas. Harper with 2 and make it a 3rd for Harper. And Thug will get themselves on the board.
I mean, 2-1. Taking advantage of the fact that, you know, they had the better weapons that time around. But now we're starting to get into the stretch of things, right? Like, ultimates are going to start getting on the board. We're already 6-8, 6-7. Oh my gosh, the meme. That literally just popped up in my head. But yeah, May...
Oh no.
May does
I
have...
wish you hadn't said that. I wouldn't have even registered if you didn't say that.
I just was the first... I wish I didn't say it either, to be honest.
You could have just played it off and just not said, like, I get it. No, sometimes the brain worms just kind of take over and you're like, I said the
funny thing. I said the funny thing, yeah. But that's amazing. I'm hoping vibes are up just as much as they are here for Truly Humble and Tour de Force. Already slowly about getting themselves back onto site, so it is going to be a really big execution here.
Smoke down long. CIA agent not going to be able to come on up through there. Starbound with a headshot there on the Dark Lord Vanitas. If it wasn't going to be Starbound, it was definitely going to be Avery, but Avery going to be felled there by Battison. And now Starbound left all alone on an island as all around them is death and desolation. A CIA agent goes on in and has completely destabilized the defense here. Starbound going to finally put her to bed. Needs to find the shots onto Harper, and she does just that, and she didn't even need the help. Starbound, they're able to find everything. 3 kills for them, and Tour de Force will hold on.
They're on a streak right now, just looking to finish this off as quickly as possible. And it gets harder and harder too, because Starbound is really good at taking up a lot of space. So to see that happen again it's just crazy. It's a never-ending theme with Starbound, such a pivotal and phenomenal player. But now they're going to do it again down towards mid, and they're reading so well into the direction of where Truly Humble Undergone wants to take things.
It's crazy though, like they're just an aimer. Like at the end of the day, they're an aimer, but they know how to control space, and their reaction time is astounding. Like right there, like Dark Lord Vanitas just gets completely clapped. You know, and all it takes is just 1 or 2 frames of Starbound to know that you're there before the shot rings out and you're dead before you ever even hear it. May, though, gonna trade out for 2, one of them being a wall bang. CI agent with another one onto Terror, and May with the isolation, though. But even in the gulag, Starbound with just 1 quick click, but as you come back down to earth, Harper is waiting for you. CI agent is not dead yet, but likely won't be able to get the kill to get the reset here. So Avery versus Harper is going to be the duel here, as the spike goes down on A site, and Avery is on another tectonic plate.
Rotation's taking a bit long, so it has to go really quick for Avery, which is unfortunate. No paranoia. They do have smoke settled, but an ultimate for Truly Humble Undergod that is underway. And it doesn't matter. Even then, when Avery tries to pop it, it's still not going to be enough time. So they pretty much have it. They're not going to use the ult this time, actually. They do manage to take it down to half, so all Avery needs to do, and this is bad. Harper does not know that they just need 1. They didn't even check, and they're not even shooting towards the right direction. Why? And at this point, actually, beautiful from Avery.
They sacrificed for nothing.
As the Hunter's Fury was just enough to keep Avery away from getting the full defuse there. So Thug will get the win there, but they're forced to use that only ultimate that they had to their name in order to make it happen. And you want to talk about ultimates, by the way. I am seeing only 1 orb shy of a full house for Tour de Force. So they have what it takes to keep this momentum going. And it's another situation where even though the economy isn't great for them to get like full Vandal, full armor buys, they can make up for that deficit by just letting the ults ring out.
Yeah, big victory. I thought for a second maybe they weren't having that Hunter's Fury in the correct direction, but it seems as they were. Australis, though, making that first engagement.
Kurosu with the martial shots ringing out. Australia's gonna fall. Harper trades that one out. Very good stuff from Thug to get this one started. Try to keep this momentum going their way. Kurosu gonna fall as well. Walks up a little bit too far and gets caught out there by CIA agent, and now suddenly the flag of Thug has been planted firmly on A site once again. Not gonna be a Hunter's Fury to defend it with this time around. Terror with a shot ringing out there on the Sheriff, taking down CIA agent. Avery gets traded out though, 2 versus 3. But one of those 2 is Starbound, who has the Tour de Force for Tour de Force. and could just find the angle to put one down in the dirt. The flash coming out, though. Great stuff from Thug. Starbound had the shot and nearly could have let it ring out, but with the flash, they hesitated.
Circle better watch their backs.
And 3-3 now. So putting themselves back on the board and keeping the game close and definitely taking a step up. But it looks good. And really just started with the fact that they're trying to abuse the post plant, get themselves back onto A site, a pretty difficult site to take on, especially since if they take out Avery so early on, there's not going to be much that they can utilize, right, to kind of clear out these angles and zone these players in. So definitely looking forward to how they're going to approach that. I'm hoping we do see a shield come through, especially now that Starbound has this off.
Having the op over on A long, by the way. But again, there's that ISO shield. It's the same thing we saw work to great effect on Lotus for the rounds that Thug were actually able to get the dub, though. But with no shield the second time around, Starbound will find the shot this time. And that will be the kill shot. Avery with one for CI Agent as well. Terror is good for two. And with only a Cypher on the attack, I don't like Thug's chances.
Oh. And already a wide swing comes through. Battison is having the most fun of their lives, trying to just take out everyone as the Cypher.
She's able to find two. At the very least, shuts down the Flawless, but I mean, look where the spike is and look where she is. Like, having to go for this full rotation around. Avery does have the angle and is just waiting for her to peek around the corner, has the height as well. Battison with her third. Hold on now. Wait just a minute. She might actually be able to make something happen here. Starbound sees Cypher, knows the angles that Battison wants to try and play at. Starbound trying to keep some distance. Doesn't want to have to go for a barrel stuff kill with this op, though. Smoke coming out. That's a little bit of a grief, I think, actually. Starbound had the angle and nearly could have got Battison there. But she's going to be able to get the spike and might actually be able to get out alive now. And yeah, that smoke coming out at the best possible time.
10 seconds left.
Goodbye, Cypher. You will
Not enough. Not enough, as Terror is just waiting around the corner and Battison has no choice but to slow peek.
A really huge start. I like the timing that Battison was able to commit to, going up towards B. Taking out two of the players, just waiting for that rotation and kind of giving it to A. At the same time, I mean, it's all about timing. I think they're on the right path. It is going to be quite difficult, but with the A site take and I'm actually seeming like there's some potential towards B, and Spike heading towards there now with a slight push away with that smoke.
They're going to be bringing the spike up towards B site with the garage. CIA Agent just taking down Kurosu there as Kurosu was trying to spray at the drone. Avery holding the corner with the judge. This is a bit of a stalemate here on one side of the wall. And again, the pace being ground to a halt, but we know this is where Tour de Force likes things to be. They want to force Thug to make these really slow, methodical plays and try and play into either Avery or Starbound's hands.
And caught out. May has to back themselves off. Oh my gosh, timing. Wide swung from Tour de Force, and they were looking for it, but they aren't able to get it, and I like this. A slight flank, where timing is of the essence here.
Dead.
There we go, Dark Lord Vanitas making that flank happen. But meanwhile, Starbound rotated all the way around, safely nestled back in towards B site. What a flick onto May with the op there. And suddenly, this full rotation over for Thug, it just isn't paying off. Starbound has the angle, takes down CIA Agent, finally dispatched by Harper, and Dark Lord Vanitas going to get the kill there. But now, the isolation coming out from Astralis needs to win the duel, but Dark Lord Vanitas with a clutch in the isolation will get the dub for Thug, and we're tied up 4-4. That was as close of a round as it could possibly get.
Huge flank too. I mean, that really was the turning point for truly humble Undergod. They're taking advantage of that, which is quite interesting. I know that they do have a lot of the util rounding about where Starbound likes to keep their trip towards B, but it seems like that's actually not doing too much, which is quite interesting, right? Even with that information coming through, they still somehow manage to have to fight for that flank or for that secretive position.
There's nothing secretive about Starbound's position this time. It's a very aggressive position.
Take flight.
And that recon drone coming out. I think they know that Starbound is lurking in that corner, but they also literally had her crosshair trained, or had the crosshair trained on someone's head there. I didn't quite see who that was, but I don't know if they did either, so I guess we're okay with that.
Looking to make their way.
Revealing
Push some
area.
stride onto here. Terror with information that actually doesn't come through. That's going to be huge for Truly Humble. Truly Humble.
Terror gonna find the shot there onto May. Gets traded out there for Harper, or by Harper rather. Gonna be able to get the spike down on A site, and now Tour de Force gonna start swarming in one by one. Harusu and Starbound up in heaven. CI agent though has the shots there, but has to reload, and Starbound is gonna punish that one.
One
Arc
enemy
Lord Vanitas
remaining.
though, point blank with the shotgun ringing out, able to find 2. Starbound is good for another, but they're gonna have so much more than that. Gotta find 2 more and doesn't have a whole lot of HP. The key resource there, and another one is time, is those beeps getting closer and closer, faster and faster, and Battison so nonchalantly with the spray there is gonna take down Starbound, and Truly Humble Under God will take the lead 5-4.
Another really good round and execution from Truly Humble Undergod. And they're just going to keep it going. Harper's been really providing that extra reassurance too. And that's just insane, right? Missing out on an opportunity just because Terror wasn't able to provide that information based off of positioning, which in and of itself, you know, as a Sova to kind of lack that information is huge. It really gave some room for Truly Humble to push up towards A. And now they're going to potentially do it again. But they do have the ultimate ready for Harper, so they can push a bit more. They can farm an orb here for CIA agent and give to another life and play this with a potential 6-5. So definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, gonna be something to look forward to indeed, as we look forward to whenever this tech pause ends. Unfortunately, you know, it ain't esports without a few tech pauses there. I'm curious though, what is your read on the overall tempo of this match right now? Because it feels to me, at the very least, like both of these teams are purposefully playing very slowly. It's, you know, not uncharacteristic for Tour de Force to try and grind the pace down to a halt. But this time, Truly Humble Under God feels like they aren't trying to push the tempo or be too aggressive this time. They also are playing slowly. Do you think like these teams might be just like afraid to try and make that one critical mistake that, you know, throws the whole tournament at this point?
I think it could be that, absolutely. Especially since it's one person down off the beginning really changes the entirety of how the game is going to start to work out. So to lose one player so early on is really detrimental. And it does feel like they are trying to just wait for someone to make that first-hand mistake, which is why no one's making it. And so it's just this repetition of trying to be silent and then not being able to and stuff like that. But I think they're playing it well. I think the Yuto from the Sova is definitely going to fare out nicely. But they need a bit more mid-control on the defense. I won't lie. There's been a lot of circumstances where they're just taking advantage of mid-control.
I mean, there's been a couple times where you'll have Starbound, you know, trying to play for some mid control. You know, you'll have your chamber posted up there, but that's like the most close range of the 3 options. Like having your chamber on either A or B is what you want if you're Tour de Force, and if you're Truly Humble Under God, like those are the 2 sites that you're the most committed to. More often than not, it's the A site that I think you're going for, and I think that like. It's probably the one you're the most practiced on. You know, it's the easiest to try and get on over and over again. You don't want to try and play into those long sight lines and risk, like you said, going one man down early on. That seems to be, like you said, how a lot of these tempos are being decided, and it's going to be Starbound that's getting the first blood almost every single time. So wherever this chamber is lurking is the last place you want to be lurking, and that is Battison going to be on the receiving end of the Tour de Force shot from Starbound. Poetry and just as I'm saying it, you know, wherever the sights are trained is not where you want to be walking, and Battison makes that one key mistake.
And silent again. You know, kind of discussing the fact that it's okay at this point to be silent and try to play this off, but not a lot of util for May to push them onto site. I guess, like, At the same time, that shield could help out in regards to giving them some coverage, but not even wanting to push that just yet. Spike isn't even close enough to the point where they would be able to even plan if they pushed on right now, but
I mean, you can use the shield to get in, but it's like breaking into prison. It's like, okay,
Right here.
I'm in now. How do I get out? It's the problem, you know? Like, even if you want to try and plant the spike there, how do you hold it? How do you get back out alive? We're still not firmly committed to either side, as you can see.
30 seconds
You can see
left.
Harper with the spike at the lower end of the map there, just camping out on A long. Not fully committed, waiting for someone to make a play. And again, grounded to a literal screeching halt. Very few players are even touching their keyboards right now.
yeah, with 13 seconds left
10 seconds left.
and no shot to be called, honestly, it seems like it's just not going to be around for Truly Humble to take in. And they're just going to have to let this one go. A good call for Tour de Force to again, play that patient game and wait for it. But a pick finally taken off. Starbound does not care.
Every fight is a lesson.
Well, it's the score now evened up 5-5, so you know, not the worst situation if you're Tour de Force, you know, or if you're Thug, honestly, to even give up that map. But still, it just feels again like everyone feels so hesitant to try and make a play if they don't have all the utility, if they don't have the man advantage. Like, sure, we have the ability to make some of these clutch plays. You know, everybody in this lobby has the pure raw frag potential that we've seen over and over again. But if they're not really being set up to capitalize on any sort of chaos, like, it just never really comes out. Terror gonna find the first frag onto Battison. Dark Lord Vanitas going in with a dimensional drift, calling out Avery's position. Goes in, and Avery is going to clap down on Dark Lord Vanitas, and now Starbound back in their usual nesting place with that operator. Looking for the shot. It's actually going to be Terror that ends up finding it. There we go. There is that final salvo as Starbound takes down Harper. 6-5. We're still
Last
on a
round in the
razor-thin
half.
margin, though.
Yeah, not clearing nearly as far back as I feel like they should either. Harper was just trying to like break a crack at it, but it was very, very difficult. So many players just watching. Starbound with the op, you know, holding it down. But I think May's going to have to be a really big leading factor, right? The shield, and just the strategy that we saw before of utilizing the shield to kind of offset that positioning. I think they're just going to have to start wide swinging with something like that and really pushing them for sight. And it works out the best way possible. But now, I mean, potential for Dark Lord Vanitas to push for some sort of entry down towards B. Again, 2 flashes still readily available.
Starbound, again, with the op, just holding down C-Site, has both the angles on lockdown. It looks like C-Site garage push is what Thug are going to be going for. They got to worry about Terror clamping down on them. You're seeing that drone come out just to try and get a little bit more intel. And it's another really slow, really surgical, really methodical approach coming out from Thug. But again, like, this is not what you want to see if you're playing against a team like Tour de Force. You want to see rapid brute force aggression coming out. There was even an opportunity to catch Starbound sleeping, looking in towards garage. We're gonna see the ISO ult coming out from May. Just okay. Just walking forward there. Starbound finds a shot there at the CIA agent again. Clove ult coming out. Dark Lord Vanitas going in point blank. And CIA agent gonna take out Charlotte as well. And finally, Truly Humble Under God. Their patience has paid off. They're able to get the spike down. And they're able to get the dub and tie things up 6-6 at the half.
Don't stop fighting. You must keep
6-6
going,
close
even
off,
if
that's
you're the
fine.
only one.
Right, with the pace of play that we've been going at and Tour de Force picking themselves up. I mean, not really even picking themselves up, having it the whole time, and Truly Humble Under God being able to pick themselves up to that last second is good enough in its own, right? So, if the worst had to happen, this is best case scenario. Now they can.
I still think this is I think fine for Truly Humble Under God though, because now we can actually see Battison's Cypher start to pay off. You know, we can start to see this pick pay off and be able to lock down that C side as we see Cyphers do all the time. And you're gonna be relying again on Starbound's just raw aim to be able to break that.
Fly destroyed.
When they're just going in. They're going very aggressively. I like the fact that we did get to see something go backside towards Karosu there. But I'm already trying to get
player
themselves back
standing.
into site entry, and the last player standing being just alone there, not even on the site, and trying to get this retake. So Harper tries to potentially make this 1v2 happen.
Yeah, and it ain't happening. Astralis is going out with 4 kills in the pistol round there, and Tour de Force are going to take that opening salvo there. And I mean, I talked about like pure raw aim potential to get value out of this chamber, but again, when you don't have to worry about Starbound being the top fragger for your team, Astralis is there with a lot of these big plays. Even though she's trailing behind Terror right now, that's okay. I imagine that's only temporary, as we're going to see this ISO start to pay off more and more on the attacking side for Tour de Force. If you're truly humble under God, you know, you used your Cypher to lock down C-Site and it didn't work.
Scanning ahead.
Oh, great scan, actually. Already 2 players, 3 actually. Now giving themselves away, truly humble, know how to handle the situation. And it seems like the retake is going to be exactly what they planned for.
A little bit of wall bang spray coming out from Thug. The spike goes down onto A site, and like you said, Thug are going to play for the retake there. The bolt, now they know where Dark Lord Vanitas is lurking. But can Terror do anything about it is the question, and I guess the question is, will truly humble under God do anything about it? Great wallbang coming out from May onto Terror there. It's gonna get traded out from Astralis, who is good for a second as well. But suddenly the trade's now favoring Thug. Starbound gonna even the score though with that shot. Had the angle that they needed. Has the scope trained again on the site there. Trying to find the shots. 1 and 2, and that is the end of CIA Agent, and Kurosu gonna put Harper down, and Tour de Force going to extend the lead. Finally, we have a 2-point lead for one side, and it's on Tour de Force's side.
I mean, brilliant usage of the Outlaw there from Starbound. And I do like the teamwork that we did get to see. It was a 2-player kind of pinch positioning on the A site those last couple seconds, and they took advantage of it. The retake was very, very well placed for truly humble under God. I think it was honestly the best decision they could have done if they weren't going to fight for the site. The only issue being it was just very scattered, you know, taking on the 1v1s, not really isolating the fights the way they should have. But there goes Cam, and they are going to be able to kind of see what's going on down towards A main.
It's you and me.
May, put the Game Boy down, girl. There's no time to be gaming right now. You got a game to win. We got a full-fledged C-site push coming out from Tour de Force, and truly humble under God, we're ready. It's now just going to be Astralis taking down Battison. It's 3 versus 1. I don't know if Astralis is going to be able to find much more than that, though, as everyone knows exactly where she is. Her position is not a mystery. You don't exactly need a magnifying glass and a Sherlock Holmes cosplay to figure out where Astralis is going to be walking up from. Dark Lord Vanitas has the crosshairs trained right there. I think we saw a little bit of friendly fire potentially lined up there from Harper, but you know, it's going to be Vanitas, the closer there with a headshot onto Astralis. And Tour de Force have to concede a round. Truly humble under God, narrow that lead down to a scant 1 point. 8-7 now.
It's just never going to stop with the back and forth. But that round really heavily relying on the fact that that choke was held beautifully and up to standard. So I'm liking this. I'm liking the difference with the fact that we are seeing Battison kind of place their utility, I mean, in the usual spots of Garage, but now they're going to be holding C-Site by themselves, which is interesting enough. The TP there, just in case a quick rotation needs to be advanced here for Vanitas.
See the spike over towards C long, where, like you said, Battison is holding down with that Cypher util. The rest of Tour de Force faking, or not faking, but prodding 3 strong over towards A site. And the spike not going to be too far behind, so this 3-2 split will look good for Tour de Force, but Harper with an early frag there at the Starbound. Not a great look, though. Kurosu going in with the Yoru, getting caught out there. Avery able to take down Harper. The Tour de Force now in a 2v4 situation, and it's the 2-man with the spike. Off that 3-2 split, the 3 is already dead, and half of your 2 has been cut down to 1, and that is the loneliest number for Avery, who is now in timeout in a corner, and CIA Agent going to peek around, and Battison will actually be the one to take the kill. But nevertheless, truly humble under God will tie the score 8-8.
Pushing down on the numbers here, and also pushing down on the time. It's not easy to keep this going. They're doing the best that they can. I do think defense was played way better than we've seen thus far. especially with that hold, really just holding the choke points. And I want to see some aggression. We don't necessarily see aggression on the defense from Truly Humble Under God. We might just potentially get to see it here down towards the B site. So it will work out.
Well, every time we see aggression from either of the Yoru players, it feels like it's getting punished because both teams are playing so slow and just waiting for someone to walk into their trap. See, again, Dark Lord Vanitas tries to go for an aggressive play and gets punished by Kurosu, who's able to take down 2. It's traded out 2 for 2 as Mei and CIA Agent are able to make their presence felt, but Starbound feels like it's been too long since I've been in the kill feed. Let me snag another quick headshot and give Tour de Force the man advantage and all the room in the world to get the spike down on A site. CIA Agent through the smoke, going to lurk on through, has a good angle there. Avery not in position to find the kill when the smoke drops, and now another smoke on top of this clove. These are going to be sitting nice and pretty. I think they know now the position there. CIA just currently on lockdown, 3v1, and isn't able to find the shots onto Terror. And all right, yeah, I guess it's time to just give up, tuck tail between legs, and give this round up. It's only going to be a 1-point lead, very characteristic of this round, but 9-8, and we're encroaching on that match point territory, only a few rounds away. And Truly Humble Under God need to try and make a comeback here.
Comeback that could actually happen too. I mean, we see Harper with the ult. Mei might just potentially be able to take 1v1 to diminish some of these numbers. Or even then, like, if an execution's happening, they can shut it down very, very quickly. So I think this is good on the part where they can have this plan really come into fruition. It just matters the way that the execution is handled. But Cam already given away, vulnerable and suppressed. Avery can't do much here.
Nowhere to run!
Hunter's Fury ringing out, I believe from both Sovas, but Avery gets caught in the crossfire there. Mei falling as well. 1 for 1, but Kurosu gonna go ahead and give Tour de Force the man advantage again, but at 10 HP. Might not be able to get a whole lot more done, just trying to use some of those Yoru decoys, but Harper ain't taking the bait. Astralis, though, is taking lives, and Tour de Force will take B-Site, get the spike down. And with Truly Humble Under God, only 2 men left. Have to try and go for the retake here. Astralis already has the angle, looking to catch Dark Lord Vanitas out. Astralis with the shield as well. All that just is bait. Dark Lord Vanitas, too afraid to go on up. He's worried that Astralis might have been lurking behind it. Terror around the corner. Battison gonna trade that one out, and it's a 2v1 now. Battison has the locations, but Astralis with 1 swift sidestep is gonna get her 3rd in the round, and Tour de Force will go back up by 2 points, 10-8.
So keeping it very, very low key for the defense, but not much necessarily used. Of course, just expanding that Hunter's Fury, but it doesn't work out the way that was intended. And Starbound is going to continue their stride for this 19-11 and just top fragging as that chamber. I'm surprised that we're not getting too much aggression. It really is just like the repetition from Truly Humble Under God, and I feel like that's the reason why we keep seeing them not be able to really run through with these rounds. It's almost like a fear because it is the Grand Final.
Well, there's a little bit of that aggression from Kurosu. And again, it goes punished. Every time one of these Yorus tries to make a play, it just blows up in their face. CIA Agent with the ult is going to be coming back to life, and Harper with the shotgun point blank range wants to try and bring this whole match back to life for Truly Humble Under God, but it just ain't happening. Astralis and Starbound have the angles. They've got everything they need right now, and it's a 2v2. Astralis with that isolation, but Harper wins the duel this time around, and now it's going to be Starbound all by their lonesome in a 2v1 situation with the spike currently on lockdown.
Peeking this with the op is not going to be easy. Oh my gosh, just 1v2, and it's not like you can spray down. You're going to have to jiggle, but Starbound just so good.
Somehow, at the, and not even giving up that inch for the shot to come back out. Just one quick op flick, and it's done. And they get out, but they didn't take the spike with them, going for an interesting rotation there. So Battison is just going to go ahead and play up into heaven. They just want to double check and make sure that the spike is still there. Does have sights on it, and also has sights on Starbound. Also sees the barrel of that gun. Wow. And there we go. Battison's barrel is hot, and now going to bring it to 10-9. Truly Humble Under God still staying alive.
Yeah, huge repositioning on their part too. I do like the fact that we are I know, we're just really making it happen here for Truly Humble Under God. It's very difficult for them at the moment playing onto this defense, but I feel like they're handling themselves well. But they're taking too many 1v1s. Way too many 1v1s, as it feels. So kind of just limiting those numbers. And I know they're trying to play as a team and play off that contact, but like we just saw, right, the contact didn't necessarily work, and now it had to be wrapped around to that 1v1. But it was a good thing Battison actually had a really good understanding of how to reposition themselves. So that was phenomenal from their part.
I think there's a very like real situation where like Battison maybe tries to go for that rotation, and that's just, you know, Starbound sneaking away with a spike. That could have very easily gone wrong, but again, like just good map awareness and being able to make that rotation, knowing that it is safe to try and go for that repositioning, and it pays off. And now, you know, we had another quick little tech pause, player disconnect, but we are reconnected. Everyone is ready and raring to go here. Tour de Force up 10-9. Really strong buy I'm seeing coming out from Truly Humble Under God, though. Armor and Vandals across the board.
Yeah, moving up. Actually just clearing the angle with the drone alone.
Big teleport.
And maybe getting a TP to come through from the
Drone
yard.
Alone is my favorite Macaulay Culkin movie.
Oh.
Very different from the one you might be used to, but this is exactly what we're used to in terms of attacks, where, again, Tour de Force going in very slowly, and Karosu gonna be the first to fall. Dark Lord Vanitas had the angle. Harper with another, and there's two now for Harper. Starbound with the Tour de Force gonna find the shot onto Dark Lord Vanitas, which are already down 2-4. Astralis and Starbound have to be this dynamic duo that we've seen them be time and time again. Their backs are up against the wall right now, and they have to try and make a play. CIA agent going to shut down Starbound. Another Dictator dispatched, and Battison with a shot into Astralis. We're tied up 10-10.
We know more than we did before. Let's use that.
That was big. They played the patient game. And they waited. But that's pretty much what we've been seeing, right? The
This whole map is a patient
the
game.
patient game, yeah. Like it's never been anything else, and it does feel like, I guess, like another like a Home Alone movie, actually. And where you're just waiting for your opponent to kind of step into your traps, and then that's when you strike. So that kind of is the vibe that I feel like we're going for here. Tour de Force is going to have to find a way to be a little more proactive. It seems like they're starting to catch on for Truly Humble Under God, maybe the B site, seemingly a place of work. But I'm so intrigued as to why they're going default here, because nobody has really fed into the idea of peeking other than Battison right now.
Disgusting stuff from Starbound. I like, again, a pixel for a frame. And, you know, okay, I need to know Starbound's Kovacs hours. All right, we've got to be in, like, quad digits here. There's no way that that they sleep. All right, they log off of Valorant and they just log into AIM Labs. It's insane. May gonna be able to find a kill onto Astralis. CIA agent is good for 2 as well. And as disgusting as Starbound's opening salvo was, it's even more disgusting for CIA agent. Starbound gonna take down Dark Lord Vanitas. Is not going to be outdone, but might be outmatched in this outing, as it's still a 3 versus 1. With the Recon Bolt coming out, they know where Starbound is lurking. A nice shot through the smoke, hoping to find anything, but no joy. No joy, no spike, no teammates, no time. Okay, alright. CIA agent will look down the wrong neighborhood. 3 in this round for Starbound, 3 for CIA agent, maybe a 4th or a 5th for Starbound, but I don't even know what I'm watching at this point.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything about that. Just keeping the
10
spike there.
seconds left.
They're like, all right, let's chill out. In moments time, though, we are going to be able to see. We're getting really close to match point, too. And at the rate that we're going, possibly overtime. So if this back and forth keeps continuing, but that is going to be Truly Humble having the lead. And for those of you watching, if you just joined, this is the grand finals. So when you're looking at it this way, this is very, very dangerous. It is the last map in the grand finals. Truly Humble having the lead. And if they run away with this round as they have 3 in a row, it's just putting a bad taste in the mouth of Tour de Force.
But because they've been able to get those 3 in a row, like, have a look at the economy. You know, Vandals and Armor with plenty of cash to spare. Meanwhile, you know, Tour de Force, their economy has collapsed. All right, like, sure, you've got Starbound with the Operator, but you've pretty much, that's it. You know, and the fact that they were able to save the operator and still have a little bit of extra spending money. Not a bad look right now, but for Tour de Force, it's like the rest of the team is just in shambles right now. In fact, one of them is already dead, and yeah, you can't be having that when you're trying to mount a comeback here and stop Thug from going up onto match point 4 versus 5, and the spike is once again quite static.
Yeah, they have information now, but no one's making moving a muscle. Truly Humble just waiting down towards the backside. Starbound looking for some sort of mistake to make way, but there isn't any. There's never going to be a mistake that Truly Humble want to make. Even Battison taking a step back and letting the cam do the work.
Astralis is going to identify the cam. And now, I think knowing that the cam is placed there, a good rotation coming out from Battison to try and augment this B-site hold, as it seems like Tour de Force feel as though B-site is where they have their best bet. You can even see here Astralis going for the ping, knows that we have CIA agent in the corner there, but Avery still peeks it blind. Starbound is going to find the shot to clean that one up, but Avery's already lost their life here. Bay goes in, gets traded out again. It's 2 versus 3 though, and with Terror finding another one onto Battison, now it's 2 versus 2. But there is a man on either side. Either Dark Lord Vanitas or Harper can go in for the collapse here. Spike going down. Terror gonna take down Dark Lord Vanitas, and now Harper has to be the one to make the play here. Truly Humble Under God want to send this to match point. Spike goes down. Harper's got the angle. Astralis looks to peek it, but just bait for now. Astralis and Terror going on a rotation. I don't know if they think Harper is here or not. She might actually just be able to sneak in and get a fake defuse if nothing else. Everyone else is in earshot, so it's going to be a tall order to even go for that. And have that bolt come out. Now we know where Astralis is, and now we know where Harper is. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a good defuse here or even a half defuse that comes out on either regard. Hunter's Fury from Terror is going to be the 4th for her. And that's going to be putting us back to a good old 11 on 11. Make a wish, chat.
Going back to back, honestly. Like, just left... Hunter's Fury comes out after like multiple jiggle peeking. They are fighting incredibly hard to not fight that 1v1 situation, but it worked out in the end for Tour de Force. Definitely, I think Hunter's Fury was like the best shout. Either that or honestly, you could have saved it for this round. I feel like they could have played that 2-1 and just had like a partnership going about there, but it still locks it in. And they are still able to take the round 11-11. Yeah.
I don't hate the investment of the Hunter's Fury, though, because it does prevent you from going down to match point this early on. Starbound with a shot there on the CIA agent left. Globe Ultimate going to be used as well. Tries to go for the shot there, and CIA agent will take down Terror, and suddenly that aggression we've been lacking all map long, well, now here it is. Astralis taking down CIA agent. It's 3 versus 3, but it's a bloody 3 for Tour de Force, as Starbound is lacking a couple limbs. The spike will go down. Battison up on the heavens, going to join the rest of her team and just try and approach through the low ground here. With smoke to spare and a Yoru decoy, they should be able to get on in here. They know now through the walls where the enemy is lurking, but Battison gonna find one onto Kurosu. It's just Astralis will be the last to fall, and Thug will keep this one going. They'll find the defuse. 12-11 will be the scoreline.
No one's fallen into Battison's traps just yet, but Battison does not need them. They just run it down with Harper, and that is exactly how the game's just gonna keep going, right? Taking on these fights. It feels less like utility is really the mainstay for these fights, and it's just being able to position yourself well enough with your teammate. So that's the way that I feel both of these teams have been playing quite so far, but I feel like now with these 2 ultimates coming down on the board for Tour de Force, they might be able to give something about. I know Starbound's just saving up so they can use their ultimate, and Astralis really just relying on the fact that maybe if they pick up a weapon, they can utilize that 1v1.
You want to play? Let's play.
It's a real behind the 8 ball situation, because you highlight the ultimates that Tour de Force have, but they don't really have anything else after that. So you have to win this match, or you have to win this round and then some. I wouldn't hate to see the Tour de Force come out from Starbound right now, knowing that you can't really afford much else, maybe buy for a teammate, because the economy is just barely favoring Thug right now, and the positioning right now is favoring them as well, as Tour de Force going for this B-site push yet again, but surrounded by sharks in the form of Thug right now. They're not going to be able to commit to that, so they're going to rotate around hesitantly. Do we go for B-site, or do we go for the garage push? Looks like it's going to be the garage push now. We got 4 members on the other side of those doors. Battison sees too many bodies, says, nope, I can't handle all this. It's far too hot. gives ground, backs up, and now Seasight belongs to Tour de Force. They're going to be able to get the spike down. Battison dispatched by Terror. CIA agent falls as well, but 2 more traded out. May making her presence felt. Now it is down to 2 versus 1. Harper and Dark Lord Vanitas versus Starbound. Another star-making performance needs to happen now or
30
never. The
seconds left.
recon bolt, now they know where Starbound is lurking. And with the Tour de Force out, it's going to be the last gasp potentially for Tour de Force, but Harper knows where Starbound is. Dark Lord Vanitas knows where Starbound is, and Starbound does not know that they are both lurking on the height. The shot comes out. Starbound able to find Harper, checks the corners, and with a 180 flick, is able to clutch it up, take down Dark Lord Vanitas, and tie it up 12 to
Switching
12.
sides.
The hero of this
Overtime.
team dons the cape once more.
That should not have happened. Starbound was in a position where they shouldn't have run away with it. But it turns out, I mean, unfortunate whiff comes through, and it gives them an opportunity to break through. We're back to that 12-12. We're going to overtime. And at the moment, they're back over to that defense. So Starbound seeming like they want to buy the op to try to really deter any of these players from coming towards A. And it's going to be different now. Tour de Force having a more aggressive take on their defensive half, and just trying to get those early engagements, which is going to be a pretty refreshing kind of switch.
Luckily, Thug in the economy-wise had a little bit of breathing room before. Again, full armor, full vandals, but they don't have a whole lot else after this. Interesting buy from Tour de Force. You've got the operator for Starbound, which you know how lethal they can be, but they didn't get the opportunity to buy armor with that. ISO shield and a Yoru clone coming up C-long there. Tour de Force not taking the bait on that one. Or maybe they are actually. There's a couple more rotations. It looked like I'm looking at Starbound at the top of the map, and like they're not really committed to one side or the other. I think the timing has led them to believe maybe this is a fake towards C and they're going towards A. Double faking potentially, but only a minute. Truly Humble Under God still have the time on their side. And there we go. First frag comes out. Dark Lord Vanitas finally going to find Pater, taking down Terror. But even with that, Thug are still moving slowly, inching towards success.
Spotted before they could break it. Tour de Force just waiting patiently, and that's... You can't necessarily peek out at the moment, but there goes the util so much to try to push these players out of the way, but it's not enough. I mean, either way, now they're going to have to fight this.
Dark Lord Vanitas able to take down Kurosu, punishing some of that aggression. It's 3 versus 3 though. Battison gonna take down Avery, and now Tour de Force don't really have much choice. They have to try and make this one stick. The spike is going to be going down. Astralis and Starbound. You can see the cage going down now from Battison. As Starbound is lurking in the garage, and I don't know if they know it, but now with that dart, they damn sure do. Astralis, though, takes down Battison while her head was turned around. Astralis gonna take it off. Maybe she can find another shot there, but no, it's Dark Lord Vanitas with a third in the round. Starbound taking down Harper. Dark Lord Vanitas tries to find the wall bang, but Starbound with another op shot. With only 8 HP. Oh, we're going 13 to 12. OT will continue. But what is there even to say? What is there even to say? When there is no hope left alive, if Starbound is alive, there is still an
Let
inch.
us see what they have planned for us this time.
And they're going to keep fighting for it, too. They are spending all of their money just on purchasing this op because they know that it is their best bet at taking the victory, at forcing this team to be afraid. And fear is such a really heavy thing to carry. I think Truly Humble are just going to have to learn how to adjust to this. And again, that really just goes for, I think May is going to be that leading factor. Like I said, taking and offsetting Starbound in the positioning that they're choosing to take. But here it comes already off the rip, seeing if there's any information that they can carry.
While Truly Humble Under God may have the fear of God in them, but it's a God they did not worship, but will have no choice but to if Tour de Force are able to get the dub here. So they're going to be taking the spike up through Garage. Very heavy on the util as well. I'm seeing ISO shields, I'm seeing Yoru clones, I'm seeing blinds, flashes, everything thrown out. Kurosu and Avery go in and they wreak havoc. Like a wrecking ball, they take Seaside for their own. 5 versus 3, and it's gonna be a hell of a retake, but CIA agent is up to the task. Nope, never mind. Avery says, no, she is not. And now it is 2 versus 4, and one of those 4 is Starbound. May and Harper are going to try and do as much as they can, but Kurosu
Revealing area.
taken down. Harper, the last one standing. She has to try and make something happen, but Avery with the 3K is going to be enough. Tour de Force will be your new champions. They will best truly humble under God, and humble them indeed. Like I said, new gods for them to worship. Tour de Force, your Radiant Academy 204, valedictorians, champions, whenever you want to call them your winners.
They've taken out the previous champs and they've put themselves in. And this is honestly just the best way to end off the day, the victory. And big congratulations. They played amazing. I think definitely stepping it up the last couple seconds and playing the way, I mean, they should. Tour de Force, just a very, very big threat within this entirety of this series. And I mean, they're just going to continue to do even more. Starbound was phenomenal, I will say. 32 and 15, ending it off with 7 First Bloods. It just never ends.
Oh, can we see? Oh, hold on. I don't know if we have the graphic ready for it just yet, but okay, there we go. We got to see this scoreboard because this is disgusting. Like, it's 32 and 15, yeah, but like it's green Starbound and then it's all red until Astralis way down there. That is like, that is a star-making performance. I don't want to call it a deadlift, but it's damn sure close to one.
I think definitely I would say Starbound was a leading factor as to why a lot of the opportunities were given to Tour de Force, especially like just like the first-hand engagements. Those count for so much. To take out CIA so early on, to take out Harper or Mesa early on, or just even to stop Truly Humble from executing onto site, which is why they were so slow. That was Starbound. They really slowed down the pace of play, and they made a threat appear, and that threat was her. So I think at the same time, they did the absolute best they could under the circumstances they were given. And, you know, playing Chamber, I can see why Tour de Force is the ultimate name for this team.
It's the most appropriate one, yeah. And a Tour de Force is what you could call this tournament for them. It's the only map that I believe they dropped the entire tournament was, you know, earlier on in the day. It was Bind to Truly Humble Under God. And they are like, okay, well, Bind wasn't really our map pick. We wanted to go to Lotus anyway, and they showed us why they wanted to go to Lotus. And then, you know, we end up on Haven. We're at this, you know, we're kind of at this even playing field. And it's a map that, even though it's an even playing field, quote unquote, has the long sight lines that you love to have a chamber sit. And whether it's A long, whether it's C long, whether it's B, you know, when you have someone who just has the ability to come out with these crazy flicks, insane aim potential, and the ability to just frag out at any point in time, if it felt like it was getting too quiet for too long, Starbound would suddenly just pop off and find a kill and be like, it's been, you know what, I gotta inject some life into this party, or some death, a little bit of both. Welcome back, everybody, to Radiant Academy 204, and it is every parent's favorite time of the academic cycle. It's graduation time, as our graduates tour de force have managed to, in Kurosu's words, despite my best efforts, graduate this class by besting Truly Humble Under God.
Hey, I mean, I'll let her do her graduation speech too. I'm so excited to hear it. But yeah, I do believe we have Astralis on the line with us to kind of break everything down within the interview. But I'm super excited. I mean, you can take it away, CB. I guess we'll do like question after question. We'll interrogate, because that's what you do during graduation. You interrogate them for some reason.
Yeah. Well, let me start with a couple softball questions. Astralis, are you here, and can you hear me? And how are you?
Hi, I'm here. I'm doing pretty good. Feeling carried, feeling happy, feeling great.
Let me ask you real quick, first of all, because especially that last map, and I also a little bit on Bind as well. It felt pretty even all throughout, and very tense and very slow paced at a lot of points in time. How are you feeling? Like, how's your heart rate after situations like that?
Definitely pretty high, because we were starting to get really down. And stuff gets slower because I guess everyone was being like not very confident. They didn't want to mess up. They didn't want to like be the one that throws the round. And like things started to get really slow a lot. We didn't want to be that guy, you know? But I told them like, hey, like if you int the round, you int the round, but we gotta go for stuff. And like things started to speed up, things started to be more confident. But generally we're all slow players, to be honest. I don't know. Like waiting out the util, you don't really want to take a gamble. You want to make sure all the util's going. I was hauling mainly, so I guess that's like my own kind of way of doing it.
Yeah, awesome. I wanted to ask too, in regards to, you said like it was a confidence issue and just being afraid overall, and not wanting to be that guy. Did you guys, like, heading into this match, I'm sure you guys probably thought it was going to be one of the hardest matches so far within the whole entire series of this tournament. Like, what was your mindset getting into it? Were you guys prepared? Like, did you guys do those VOD reviews, or was it like, you know what, let's stick to what we know best?
Oh, absolutely not. You just wing it in. There's nothing to really VOD review. I mean, maybe they had a VOD, but like,
I love
yeah,
that
we just
answer.
jumped right into it.
Absolutely not.
That's tacky, bro. We gotta be cool. We can't try too hard, you know? We gotta be nonchalant, you feel me? So like...
Yeah, only nerds try. That's so true.
Yeah, we're cool because like we didn't VOD review and we still won. So like, I don't know, me personally. We knew that they're gonna be difficult for sure. It's not like we were like, oh, whatever, free low. Clearly, it was gonna be a very even, like, super team match, basically, is what people keep saying.
Well, so even though you didn't really go in with any sort of VOD review or like preparation, because that would be nerdy, and you guys aren't nerds, you're cool and nonchalant. You and Starbound were kind of newer additions to this roster alongside Avery, Terror, and Kurosu, who met with Truly Humble Under God in the previous tournament's grand finals. Did any of them have any like intel for you about the ways they like to play, some of the strategies that they like to come forward with, and did you guys make any adjustments based on that intel, or is this again just winging it?
Yeah, definitely not. When Starbound joins a team, it revolves around a chamber OTP, and nobody gets a say. So there's definitely we just abided around the chamber, and everyone's like, okay, well, it's Starbound, so like, what else are we gonna do? Like, whatever we
Literally,
had
like,
before doesn't
okay.
matter.
Okay, new strategy. We'll just play around a chamber OTP. I like.
Yeah, it's just really nothing. I didn't know they were recorded together before, though. That would have been helpful to know before we won.
So wait, so not only did you not vote, you didn't even know there were videos available you could have gone to watch. Like,
No, definitely not. Just gotta wing it, bro.
definition of an effortless win. Yeah, nonchalant. Like,
They did the
passed
same
class
thing.
Y'all passed
The
the
enemy
class
team
without
totally
doing
did the same
any homework. Oh my god, that's like.
Enemy team
Hey,
is
I mean,
all
I
right
did
right
too
now,
when
I'm
I
so
was in
shy.
high school, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess I hate to ask you another quote-unquote strategy question, but like, okay, you talk about how it's like Starbound comes in, you're playing around the chamber OTP. What is it like trying to set up to play around that? Like, what sorts of things are you doing in that situation that you wouldn't do in just like your regular like 5v5 comp match?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, actually. Dedicating my entire life and everything to breaking their utility. My life doesn't matter. Whatever I want to do doesn't matter. Breaking their dog, flash, whatever is what matters. And if I don't, I get beat up. So I'm sure everyone else also had to adapt around that.
Okay, who's beating you up? I have to, okay, if there's a culture of like bullying going on in this team, I need to expose it right now.
No, I'm playing. Obviously, they're my partner, but they're gonna be like, oh my god, I didn't hit that shot because someone didn't break my dog. So, and then like, I don't want to hear that. So you have to, we're constantly making sure they're getting what they want.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I guess, you know, ditch the strategy and potentially, I mean, this might also be another hot button question now that I know that you're getting flack every time you fail to break util, but I guess question for both, for you is, you know, what is next for you? And also, I guess, what is next for the team?
The team, we're all on different rosters. I wish I was like, I knew what rosters they're on. I guess Avery's on Ghost, Terror's on something, I guess. And I don't know what Cross is on. But me and Sarvan are obviously...
That's a hell of a statement.
I'm sorry, they keep joking about Fisher. I guess they're on Fisher. I don't know. I don't even know if that's in GC, but like, me and Sarvan are obviously for Wadada for the upcoming main event. That's definitely our next thing. We were just a little throw together roster from a bunch of different teams. But maybe next GCA. It's the same core.
I could see it. I could see y'all making a run back with this core. It's definitely shown its success in terms of, you know, talent, experience, raw aim potential, maybe a little bit of a toxic culture of, you know, beating each other up if you fail, and also going back to the tension question, you know, being afraid to be the person to make a mistake, you know, maybe it's because someone's gonna get hit if they don't, like.
We're not actually, it's mainly ourselves. Like, everyone was kind of just like, they don't want to mess up other people. Like, nobody was actually being mean to each other. We were all extremely nice, to be honest. If anything, I was probably the meanest. But somebody has to be, you know, that one sometimes when stuff gets rough. But like, everyone was nice. I'm just playing.
Okay, as long as it's not like for real and int the round and get the belt sort of situation, like I guess I can just sit back and let nature take its course. Hey, it was enough to get you guys the win this time around. So congratulations for that. I hope the rest of the team is gonna have a wonderful celebration tonight. Gompers, do you have anything else you want to ask before we send Australis back to celebrate with the squad?
I'm good. Thank you, Australis. It was so fun seeing you play. I'm excited to see you. I believe you're playing Game Changer, so I'm excited to see you play then too.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck in Game Changers pop off, and we look forward to seeing it. And I think that might be just about it for us, at least in this interview. So why don't you say your goodbyes, and then we'll send you on our way and close the show. Oh, she's gone. All right. The Irish goodbye. I love it. Okay.
Wait,
Bit of an
wait.
awkward.
Oh God.
Oh, wait, no, actually, she's-
Sorry. Somebody else spoke and said all right, and I'm like, all right, bye. Like, I'm like, I guess I didn't say. I didn't know I was still here. Jump scare. Sorry, it's a jump scare. I'm here.
This is one of the best interviews I've done in a long time. Thank you so much. All right. All right, for real, thank you for joining us, Astralis, and we'll see you next time. Best of luck in Game Changers, for real.
Thank you. It was fun talking to you.
All right, and now that I've confirmed that she's really gone this time and she's not just waiting behind me to pounce or punish me for inting around, we are that pretty much does it. Gompers, any closing thoughts on that interview?
No, it was fun. I really like the responses. I think it's funny. Like the yeah, so no one beats me, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, things happen, I guess. But it's cool. It's like a family when you're doing stuff like this. You're spending so much time together.
Yeah, family always just yells at each other. That's a good takeaway. Also, I like the implication that she said also is like, oh, I missed this shot because you didn't break the dog. It's like, okay, wait, hold on. I know it was a difficult shot, but sometimes, like, when you're just that good at clicking heads, if you whiff, it's kind of on you, I think, a little bit. Maybe, like, 50-50, we can share the blame. That's what a real family does. It's all our fault.
Potentially, but I do want to have you guys see and check out the bracket one more time before we do close out the show. Kind of just get a feel for what exactly we saw throughout this tournament thus far. And as you know, it was the last game of Tour de Force versus Truly Humble Undergod, and it was our third map. We only had one other best of 3 go to the third map, and it was Rivals Jeff One Tricks versus Swift Play Success Story. So really, really cool to see that underway for the grand finals. It's always the hardest, I feel like the hardest game when the grand finals is coming along. But congratulations again to Tour de Force. CB, they played the best game that they could.
Yeah, the best game that you possibly can, especially when you're playing around a chamber OTP, and a very effective one at that. Starbound very much so, like we've said a couple times throughout the show, showing just how good they are at this character and why they named the whole damn team after it, and why that is a name that is now going to be etched in the history books from here on out as your Radiant Academy 204 graduates. And with that, we will bid you all a farewell. Class, you've all graduated as well. Congratulations. You don't have to go to school anymore tomorrow. I said so. You tell your professors I said it, and I'll see you guys all ditching school from here on.
I love that.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for us. Have a wonderful evening, chat, and we'll see you guys all next time. Bye-bye. Mwah.